production work for dispatches and all this. I don't do nothing. I barely have enough time to send out links and beg people to come on the air. Hey, everybody out there, we see you. Come on. You're in the hall. Come on in. Come on in. There's chairs in the front. Put those earphones on. Go over to that Ragin 2 YouTube channel and hit that like button. Hit that love button. And subscribe. Make sure you subscribe.
Ooh la la.
Ooh la la. It's a ZimmCast, folks. There's people that have been invited. We're not sure if they're going to make it, but right now I got two great guests that we don't normally have on ZimmCast. So we're going to have some nice comic talk here, and hopefully for the next hour and a half to 2 hours or so, if our Xfinity is the gods at Xfinity are kind enough to us to leave us on the air, unlike what they did last night. Holy crap, I was constantly grinding last night, and not in a good way. Haven't been to a strip club in years. Anyway,
I know. He's got those dollar bills piling up. What is he going to do with those damn things?
Man.
And so we're going to roll the opening. We're going to roll a warning label, and then we'll be right in. So hang on, folks. As soon as I find the intro, we will go. I have two intros. I have a countdown intro and a regular intro. And I guess I'll play the countdown intro today because I love it. So, let me find it. Here we are. Here's the countdown intro. It might have some imagery that you might be familiar with. Here we go.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Thunderbirds are go.
Warning! The following program is rated TV MADLSV and is intended for mature audiences. Expect adult expletives, adult situations, and video clips of people you might find offensive. The opinions expressed in this podcast are entirely the responsibility of the person speaking and or typing, and in no way meant to reflect the opinions of the Ragin 2 podcast network. No children, small pets, floppy titties, or Russian bots were harmed bringing this podcast to you. Thank you.
And have a nice day.
I'm glad I'm not going to be alone in hell. Good.
Mitch Rogers in the house. Mitch Hale. Yeah. Mitch, I sent you a link. You are welcome in if you want. I did not mean to neglect you. I just failed to send you a link this evening. So it's in your PMs on your Facebook page now. If you want to go over there and jump in. Anybody else out there who I forgot to send a link to, please feel free to PM me, and I will try to correct that situation if I want you. Come on in, folks. Come on in, everybody. I got to renew my Facebook page here just for a second. And because old Facebook, they never make my podcasting public. It's just private.
No?
So I have to go in there after we've started and turn it over for public consumption.
Yeah, Facebook, it's worth everything we're paying for it.
Yeah, they're cheaper than Xfinity. So. And just as good a service. Anyway, welcome everybody. It's the ZimmCast. Yes, it's the ZimmCast. Come on in. You're not too late. We just ran the countdown and the warning. And yes, we are TV MADLSV. You might hear some words that your kids might not want to hear, and we might say and do things and have opinions. What is that? An F-bomb? That's an F-bomb. Yeah. That's funny. Oh, is that your squeak toy?
That's my squeak toy. Yes,
I need one of those.
It was made for me after Cookie dropped an F-bomb on one of my shows one day.
Oh, sweet. Somebody's thinking about you. That's great. That's great.
Yeah, see?
Let's all go through and introduce ourselves. I am Randy Zimmerman. I've been doing this, not just podcasting, but doing comics and making books and working in the alternative and independent market for many, many, many decades. I do a lot of commercial work. That is sequential artwork. I am a big aficionado of sequential art in general. I just love comics. Comics kept me sane in my youth, and I've done little more than comics sense. So just love them. And I love to talk about them. That's why we're podcasting. That's why we're podcasting tonight. And I also podcast Sunday mornings, where we'll be talking a little bit more lightheartedly and a little bit more positive about the industry than we do tonight. Few less words. Few less words. Sometimes it gets crazy. Sometimes it doesn't. We'll just see how it goes. And just like nights like tonight. So everybody, come on in. What does Rodney have to say?
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Well, maybe not quite that much, but
We can all hope. All right, good.
I've got a couple of great special guests tonight that aren't normally around for this podcast that I'm really glad they were able to join me. And one of them is Mr. Ted Davies. And Ted, introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Ted Davies. I'm an artist and author. I'm best known for my book Retrieve and my book series Grimm 101 and Comics Unlimited. I'm a publisher. I'm doing a lot of different things right now. We've got a lot of things happening on Ted Davies Artistry YouTube channel, and a lot of things happening. A lot of different podcasts. So, Feed the Beast is one of them with John Celestri, the legend. I've got another podcast with the great producer out in California, Craig Hall, from the Trenches of Hollywood, which is another great tool for writers that are trying to get their scripts to the screen. And you know, we're Glenn B. Fleming and I are doing a podcast, Comics Unlimited podcast on Thursday mornings. Back tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. So check out everything we're doing there. And of course, I can't least but not least, we do a drinking show with my wife once a month now. Drinking with the Davies on a Friday night, in the middle of the month. It's always nice to have a mixology show with the wife where I'm just spoon boy. I don't even talk. So check out everything that we're doing there. And I learned a lot from these two in this queue here. So don't let me misguide you. These guys are awesome. These guys are legends in my mind, at least. So,
well, we're all here to have fun and learn, just like Mitch Rogers. Mitch, how are you?
I am doing good.
Good.
How is everyone tonight?
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for coming on. I forgot to send you a link, and I feel bad about it. So
that's fine.
I apologize.
No.
Also, Mitch, introduce yourself since you're right below me here.
Oh, okay. Hi, I'm Mitch Rogers. I'm a independent comics creator from Greenville, South Carolina. I've been in the business since 2008. I'm the writer, creator, and artist of the horror comic book series, The Boger.
cool.
Okay. Cool. I always forget to tell folks where I'm from. Not that it's, they can tell I'm working out of my basement, but I'm here just barely south of Flint, Michigan. So, and Ted there, he's up north in Tawas.
Yep, Michigan.
So
There
if
you
you
go.
look at Michigan, he is
about
he
there.
is
So, yeah.
he is way over here. Yeah, I am down here. So
And Brian's right about here somewhere, right,
Yeah.
Brian?
Brian's
Okay.
about
Round back a little, yeah.
over here somewhere. Yeah. Brian K. Morris, introduce yourself, buddy.
I'm Brian K. Morris, writer, editor, publisher, award-winning author, finally, Facebook famous YouTuber, and former mortician's assistant. I've got my own imprint, Freelance Words, but we also write for other people about nonfiction. Also do science fiction for Stormgate Press. We do crime novels, and we also have a book coming out later this year, The Terrors. Yes, that looks like the Black Terror. Well, yes, it is, but with a twist. So check it out. That'll be out in late summer. Plus, I do a comic book review show on Thursday nights called Comic Book Spectrum, where I and a bunch of really great guys get together and talk about the newest releases from the mainstream presses and from indie creators. And we gab a lot, and I'm tickled pink to be here with such august company.
Cool. Before we went on the air, Ted and I were talking about stuff, and those. I told him these pigeonholes have just got to go. You know,
Yeah.
indie, mainstream. There's really no mainstream anymore, is there? It's everything is a niche market. All of the comics that you're producing is for very much the direct market,
Pretty much.
which is a niche market.
Yeah.
You really don't see very many comics out in the open, out in the wild. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I've been watching a lot of value videos lately, and Never knew comics could be found in the raw, but they can.
That's a whole nother market. I mean, it's a great thing. We used to buy. That's how we used to buy our stuff. That's it.
Yeah, well, off the
rack,
newsstands, off of
That's
the
it.
spiral racks like that.
Yep.
Let's talk to folks like Comic Tom, who has to keep talking and moving his hands. Hey, folks, everything jumped 1,000%. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Heritage right now seems to be going through a lot of auctions. And everybody's stunned at these prices, but it's because comics are so good. They're so entertaining, and there's so much nostalgia linked in there, especially in the golden age and those classic illustrators. And I was on Joe Jusko. I was on my timeline on Facebook, saw Joe Jusko posted that museum somewhere over in Europe's got half of the original artworks for Silver Surfer #3 on display.
Right.
Ooh, really?
The Buscema Joe Sinnott artwork, just beautiful stuff. And here it is, the originals under glass in a frame, set up there. And like I was telling Ted, you get out of the United States and comics are art. I mean, they are art, but they
breathe whole different air when they're in another country.
They're not a recognized
amazing.
high art.
It's amazing.
Like they should be appreciated here in the States. They're appreciated everywhere else but here.
Yep.
And if somebody runs across half of the artwork for Silver Surfer #3 and wants to put that up on display, it'll attract a crowd.
Oh my God, yes.
It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just marketed ourselves poorly from the very start.
Oh, no. We've been trotted down with the reputation. I'm working on a book.
Oh,
Anyway, it's the way that comics have always been looked at and treated. They were secondary literature from the start. The newspapers printed comics in order to keep their presses wet because they couldn't let them sit idle between the morning edition and the evening edition. So they printed funny books in between, and at night between the evening edition and the morning edition. So then they threw them out on the stands to see if they could sell them for a dime. Yeah. And lo and behold, suddenly they're selling hundreds of thousands of books, and they're like, "Oh, this is cool."
Yeah. What was your first book that you ever picked up, Zim? Randy, when you were a kid, what was like the first comic book or the?
Well, there's like two levels.
Yeah.
For that, because during my youth, I was raised in a real restrictive religion, and my parents didn't allow me to have superhero books. But I loved superheroes because I saw Batman on television, Adam West and Burt Ward. I am that old. I am that old. But anyway, there we go. Yes, sir.
That's really good. Be very happy with that, Brian.
And I wanted to buy superhero comics. I always had been fascinated with comics. My uncle gave me a book called Easy Way to Draw by the Lance Studios very early in my life, like when I was 8. And I took to it greatly and showed how to break comic book characters down into basic shapes. So circle, line. It's the same method that I teach when I teach cartooning after school, which I haven't done in a few years, but I might get back to eventually. But it's so easy, especially with cartoons and animated cartoons, because they're made to be drawn over and over and over again and made to be simple and simplistic. And if you know how to break them down, you could draw anything with a little hand-eye coordination, just a little, and a lot of patience. That's all. That's the big thing with these kids. They get to a point, and I love catching them early middle school, elementary school even, where they haven't told themselves no yet on a lot of stuff. Because that's what happens. They start flipping switches as they get older. No, I can't do that. Yes, I can do that. No, I can't do that. Yes, I'm really good at that. And they have to make that choice up. And once they do, it's stuck in their head, and it's very difficult to turn that switch in the other direction. That's why I get a lot of kids in there. I can't draw. You can if you try.
Yeah.
You just got to sit there and do it. And then look, a couple circles, couple of dots, couple of curvy lines. You got a character. Here you go. This is cool. First book I remember having when I was a kid is I was sick one day. And my dad, on his way home from work, because I lived up in Montrose, which is a small suburb up in the north western corner of the county. Dad picked up a copy of Walt Disney Comics Digest, and I have a copy. I still have a copy of that. I don't have that exact book because it was in pieces, but I do have a copy of that book. It's got Pinocchio on the cover, and it's got my very favorite Carl Barks' Scrooge McDuck story in it. I didn't know about Carl Barks at the time. I just knew that those ducks were awesome. And that's the 24 Karat Moon, Uncle Scrooge story.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Yep,
And I believe it was in Uncle Scrooge 14, a book that's on my list. You know, I have a list of books that I want eventually that I will get in whatever condition, slabbed, raw, or whatever, you know, I will own these books eventually. And if you watch the Sunday Funnies in the morning, just about every book, every comic that slides by the screen there is very important to me for one reason or another. But that Walt Disney Comics Digest was the first book I remember that was mine. You know, that my dad brought home and said, "This is yours."
Awesome.
When it comes to superhero books, though, the first 2 books I remember buying, once my mom allowed, because I started reading Comics Digest after that and just absorbed everything that I could get my hands on. And my mom wouldn't let me have superhero books, so I brought a Twilight Zone home book digest off the stands, brought it home. My mom happened to open it up, and like a lot of moms, well, they're going through the same situation. Oni Press, only with a lot more explicit material, is going through that kind of situation with the gender queer book right now at Oni. My mom opened up the book and saw a guy making a deal with Satan, with the devil. And she freaked because it's restrictive religion, right? So she said, "You can't have this. You can't have this book." And I'm like, "I bought this book. You know, come on. What are you doing?" I earned it. You know, I got an allowance at that point. And long story short. Anyway, she said if I threw the Twilight Zone Digest in the fire, I could start buying superhero books. Because it's like, you know, well, I'd rather have you reading violence than reading spirituality. So, of course, one of the first books I picked up was Son of Satan. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
Talk about a deal with the devil,
all those great super Ghost Riders.
Sure, man.
That was right during that period when all those books
whole
were
era, right?
Yeah. So the first 2 books, of course, I buy Secret Origins #1, which is a reprint of a bunch of origin stories, which I'd never owned them before, but I had the Jules Pfeiffer. I had read the Jules Pfeiffer book from the library and had read the Les Daniel comics, the History of Sequential Art, or the History of Comics in America book. I just absorbed them. But when Secret Origins come out, it was a chance for me to own those stories. So of course I was going to grab it. And then Shazam #1, because it was Captain Marvel. And I'm like, holy crap, it's Captain Marvel. Third book I bought was Legion of Superheroes #1, because I had never seen those characters before. And this was a reprint volume. It only lasted 4 or 6 issues. But all of a sudden, Superboy, and I remember the cover, it was a Nick Cardy cover. I don't have a copy of that book either, but I will. Nick Cardy cover of Mon-El slamming Superboy into a pole. And that to me was, wow, who are these characters? Holy, there's all these oddball characters dressed in these oddball costumes. I got to know. So I bought that book. And that's the first books that I bought, you know. And then fondly, I remember, hi, Christy, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Real good.
It's going, Christy.
Then fondly, I remember. Yeah, there we go. I got my book. I got my copy upstairs. I should have brought it down here just so I could boast that I have it.
Computer right
Okay,
now.
sorry, Randy.
She's getting my face too much. Yeah, I also got. I'm going to fulfill the rest of these guys. Sorry to interrupt.
Looked like your cover there for a second. No, just kidding.
Yeah, right. Well, I just got these guys while I was on vacation up north.
That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Cool. These pins are nice. Sweet.
Yeah, sweet.
And I got one more, so I'm going to be pretty much done with all the fulfillment.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hilarious.
Hardcover.
Excellent.
Halfway through, freaking hilarious. Sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, Randy. I shouldn't have showed the.
No, you're cool.
You know, it was great though. Just wanted to make sure you knew.
It's a
about it.
very informal program, Ted. Have you ever
Cool.
seen an episode of ZimmCast before?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. Stop
Yep.
apologizing.
Okay.
Anyway. Okay. We're now joined by Christy Shin. Christy, introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi. I'm the creator. Get off my thingy, fat butt. Anyway, sorry, Mike. I have a black cat that ruins everything.
She's the creator of Get Off My Thing, Fat Butt.
Well, I made sure that the copy you got had my cat set on it. So I'm the creator of Demon Bitch. She's a lower level demon from the 13th pit of hell where people throw their dog shit in gum wrappers. And she wants to bring the second coming of Armageddon, but the first one never happened because she's stupid. This is the first ever hardcover through KDP. And
Awesome.
I had that all funded by the Kickstarter for this paperback here, which she's lying on, and I'm not going to even fucking bother because you guys did that. But I have many, many things like the purse charm,
Mhm.
And then I have a pin and patch. The two creators of the pin and the patch
Sweet.
are actually downstairs, and they're helping me bag these guys right here. Let me show you these guys right here. I am very proud of these guys. It's called Tamabichi, the series. And these are glow in the dark. And one is called Stupid Happy and Mad Face. I think this is Stupid Happy and this is Mad Face. And it's supposed to be like a Tamagotchi.
Yes. Sweet.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Very cool.
Tamabichi.
Tamabichi. There you go.
There we are.
So I'm very happy about it. And you can still order your copies. It doesn't need to be Kickstarter exclusive.
On Kickstarter?
You can do it actually through Oratory Studios. Yeah, I got, let's see here. I got the pre-order link right here.
Make sure you throw that link in the chat.
So right there, that is the pre-order link right there. But you can buy other stuff. I can sign it and stuff. I've got a lot of stuff because I'm heading over to Comic-Con in about a week or two.
Oh, good.
That's a long walk.
I luckily have a car and I can drive.
Cool. Now I have two warnings I have to give. The first one is yesterday on dispatches, my wonderful cable company kept grinding and screwing up with the signal. So far it's been good, and I've probably jinxed it by mentioning it, but if there's a problem with the signal, that's probably the reason. If it's not Xfinity, it's got to be Scott Rosema's fault.
Probably.
Scott Rosema.
Of course it is.
How are you, man?
Scott,
How
how's
you
it
doing,
going?
man?
Excellent. Glad to join you guys on Sunday Funnies here.
You stop
Man.
No, we're on ZimmCast. It's Wednesday night.
That's so
Check
great.
your calendar.
Wait a
That's
second.
awesome.
Wait a second.
Yelling at
Just
my
hold
bitch.
on.
Fix shit over. You're such a little bitch. I swear to God.
This
How you
is the
doing,
more
Scott?
adult show.
Hey, how we doing, guys? Hi,
Good,
Ted.
man. How you
Brian?
been, man?
Yeah, you have such
Bitch.
a fat ass.
Christy.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi, how's it going?
I saw your one sticker you held up, and he's holding what? 2 hot dogs? Is that what those are?
Yeah, let me show you. It's Demon Bitch, and she's holding up 2 hot dogs. It's called 2 bad hot dogs. Because they're disgusting. They're probably spoiled because she's a disgusting creature. And
Well,
then
I'm glad you made no distinctions. That's very, very a lot of innuendo there. That's awesome.
Definitely
Oh, yeah.
not Kogels. Yeah.
yeah,
Goggles.
I mean, they're probably like canned hot dogs and shit that are over a year old. And then
Wow.
you got the 2 pins right there. They're glow in the dark featured pins.
Nice.
Cool.
Stop knocking.
Yeah, I got to tell you that reminds me of probably one of the best billboard series of advertisements I ever saw. Kogel Sausage Company was putting these billboards, these huge sausages, all kind of bent slightly upward, and it said "Serve the curve."
Yep.
Serve the curve.
That was just recently.
Oh
That was
my
only
God.
like about 10 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, that was
I remember
just
that.
the best. Just the best.
Oh,
I used to mention that to the kids when we were drawing curved lines. Serve the curve. They all knew. The Kogels plant is less than like 2.5, maybe 3 miles from my house.
See,
Right,
that
right
does
next
not-
to the airport. Yeah. The international airport. I mean,
Yeah, Bishop Airport. Yeah,
Yeah, Bishop
Right.
Airport.
where all the planes go right up into the sky.
Mhm.
That's right.
as I hear, just match the curve. Yeah.
They
I'm
serve the
kind of
curve.
laughing about this one because like this is the first hardcover ever done.
It's not. It wasn't just the slogan though. It was a gigantic Vienna
Oh, huge! The entire
huge
length of the
sausage that
billboard.
curved out of the billboard.
Exactly.
Really?
was
Did it
beautiful.
curve up or down? I mean,
It
Curved
was
up.
Curved up.
It was
Oh.
curved.
Oh,
no,
okay.
it was,
You don't want to curve down.
It was
But it turned into a
completely-
Vienna sausage
It
during
was
the
a-
winter.
It was
Yes.
it's about as phallic as you could get on I-75.
Yes.
Yeah,
It was,
exactly.
it was pretty bold.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, as I said, it's just been exciting. So it's like I'm going to be finishing up. Now, there's going to be a couple of people that actually may not get their thing because they have not answered my email about, and they haven't answered the survey of like where I should send it. So maybe 1 or 2 people. So I've emailed them.
Exactly.
Hopefully that will be soon.
It's your fault if you haven't answered that email and you don't get your stuff.
That's right.
That's right.
You will not be served the curve. That's for sure.
Christy
Yeah.
says, "Hey, Ted and Randy, did you get yours? Yeah, we got it.
Yes. Yep.
Yes, you
Hello,
should.
all. It's Luke Stone
What's
in the
up,
house. Luke, hope you're doing
Come on,
well,
Luke.
buddy. Good to hear from you. I am on. I'm on the what would you call Florida? Yeah,
Okay.
you're on the Florida. Brian Langley says he's in Owasso. Good for you, Brian. The last Arrow Comics of Arrow 3.0 was the Owasso Taco House Funnies.
Oh, that's right.
Was it? Huh.
Yeah.
Always sorry.
I know
never
the
made
first.
it.
Love that
I know
place,
one of the
Benny.
first ones
Love
were.
Benny.
I'm
That
always
was
sorry.
no,
I
that was
never-
close to the last ones too.
Yeah.
Mine. Their first mine. So
There's a long story behind that, and
I
there's
always
a long-
wanted to
we
make-
weren't gonna do it until we got fed up with Diamond, and then it's like, yeah, let's do a book called Spank the Monkey and shove it down there.
absolutely.
It'll be great. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I always wanted to make it a taco house. Never made it there.
Yeah, we used to meet there once a month and have phenomenal Mexican food and talk comics. So with the Toth girls and Joe Toth and sometimes other professionals would pop in, and we just sit there and have tacos and talk comics. It was great. We should have, if podcasting had been a little bit farther along, we could have broadcasted from the place. It would have been great because it was a really old time Mexican restaurant. Piñatas hanging from the ceiling. They had a Dr. Pepper clock there that was only had the correct time twice a day.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
One of those.
Yeah.
It was amazing. All sorts
Cool.
of plaques on the wall, cheap velvet paint, huge velvet paintings.
the
on
best.
it.
Those are the
My-
best.
When he was shutting down, he let us all take a souvenir off of his knick-knack wall. He had a knick-knack wall that had all sorts of odd. He was a big Lions fan, or is a big Lions fan, I should say. And when he decided to close a business, he got bought out by the heating and cooling place next to him. And he was really tired of having to deal with the drunks coming in at 2 a.m. to get tacos, because he was the only place foolish enough, I guess, to stay open that late at night until McDonald's was open, later.
Right.
But I ended up getting like Beanie Babies of the Three Amigos that he had there. The old
That's
Three Amigos,
awesome.
Donald Duck, the rooster, and the parrot. Just and
That's too
I have
good.
them in my living room today, sitting on a high shelf. So,
That's
in a case, they're all in cases. So,
Awesome.
And I got my
fantastic. Yeah.
Comic-Con badges, dudes.
There you go, going to Comic-Con.
Yay.
Yeah, I'm exhibitor.
Scott and I will be at the really cool Comic-Con coming up in the first weekend of August 6th and
That's
7th.
right,
Ted might be there too if he's lucky enough.
I
Oh,
might be.
Ted, you gonna?
I don't know. We got to show up here in Tawas. I don't know if it's going to be the same weekend. I have to double check. But there,
I sure hope so.
yeah, I might have.
You
to,
sure
I might
hope it
have
is? Same weekend?
No, I hope. I don't think that's what Scott meant.
Oh,
I don't know.
I hope
I
you-
might be there. Yeah, that's what he meant. I'll take that.
Okay.
We'll see how it goes.
Hey, Randy, how did you wrangle getting such a celebrity like Brian Morris on this?
You know how that worked? We
I'd
had
love
this
to hear
betting line worked up, which you have thrown for a loop now because everyone was betting against you being here today.
Yeah.
See?
And I just happened to
didn't,
contact Brian out of the blue, and he says, if I can show up instead of Scott Rosema, I would be honored. And I said, okay.
It's not like I'm a celebrity or anything, Scott.
Oh yeah, I don't imagine.
It's not like he hasn't won awards or nothing.
Your humility is, you got bags of humility.
Oh,
I'm
it's-
proud of my humility, Scott. I worked
and
hard on
you
it.
should be.
And Luke Stone is proud to be slumming it with comic funny book artists. There we are.
Well, Luke, we wouldn't be slumming without you. Let's put it that way.
There we are.
That's right.
We heard about Randy's first comic books. Brian,
Tom
Were they-
Rapka's in the house.
hey, what's up, Tom? What was yours, man? What did cave paintings? What was it? What
That
was
was-
it?
that was
it?
my-
Yeah,
Whatever
yeah,
it
we
was, that was
celebrated
my
the
nickname
hunt.
in high school.
We always celebrate the hunt. That was very important to us back in the day. But
Yes,
no,
it was. Yes, it was. I rode my bike to Birch Run and to Clio in order to find comics.
That's right. No, my parents would sit me in the corner of this little mom and pop store in Olivet, Illinois.
Yeah.
That it was basically shut me up while the grown-ups talked. I know you can't imagine that. But one morning I'm sitting with my mother and on breakfast, and it's like we had a box of cornflakes, of course, with the green rooster, and I knew what that was because I saw them on TV. But they, Mom had, that was Dad's cereal, and Mom liked like corn checks or something like that, and she'd read the back when they had like the little fake newspaper on the back, and I'm like, how do you tell the two apart aside from the rooster? And she said it's words, the thing you're trying to learn to talk about, and I said, well, how do you figure this out? And she told me about the reading concept. And I said, well, teach me how to read. So the first comic, and she used comics to help me learn how to read, which is why I knew the word invulnerable by the time I entered school.
Oh, yeah.
Because Superman was always invulnerable.
There you go.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah, and the first one I remember, it was an old Superman. I think it was one of those back in the day when they had like 3 stories in the thing. It was a 10-center. And the middle story was one where Superman, Perry, and Lois, maybe Jimmy, somehow went through this time warp, got thrown into the distant past, and there was this flying dragon. And the only way Superman could repel it was like soaking his super suit in the water and making the colors run purple because that frightened the dragon or whatever. This story made no freaking sense whatsoever. Even when I was 3. Yeah.
It's kind of like that.
It can survive a bomb, but the colors run and you get away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention it was at a time when the Earth was under a red sun, of course.
Well, that's right.
So he didn't have any power, and his suit ran. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was a pretty lame story. I mean, it parked real close to the building after that. But that was my first
when
story.
Kent switched to Tide, you know.
Wow.
Well,
Exactly. She started getting like polyester and stuff, and some of the more color fast things. So yeah.
well,
Probably written by the great Otto Bender.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it.
there's like an old picture where it showed Superman holding onto a tree and they're making a human chain to rescue a woman from the canoe.
Yeah, it's a world finest cover.
Oh yeah,
Batman and Robin. Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
funny because like somebody actually wrote like somebody should totally kick Superman's fucking ass for that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Superman's got
The
a lot
man
to
who can
answer
fly.
The
has
guy
to
could
have
fly
fear.
over there, just pick. Yeah.
I'll let Robin do the dangerous work, and if he falls off the waterfall, I'll just fly out and catch him.
Yeah.
That'll, or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, 20 years from now, we'll just replace him with 4 or 5 other kids. You know, that's fine.
Yeah.
Joe from a desk of a small press publisher says
Joe.
Rosamund cost me $2,000 in Monopoly money. Sorry, Joe.
Well, good. That's what you get for betting against me.
That's right.
And
Never
Joe,
get into a pissing match with a madman, I said.
I know you work late, but anytime you want to be on ZimmCast, just drop me a line. You want to be on, I'll send you a link.
Yeah. Joe's awesome.
Yes,
Joe's
it is.
cool.
Thank the world of Joe.
And your opinions are very valued here on this program. And sometime we'd like to talk about oddball stuff. So.
Well, by almost everybody.
Mitch, since
Yes, sir.
Ted started the topic, what was your first funny book?
My first comic book was probably I can't remember the issue number, but it was an issue of Batman, the Armageddon 2001 storyline.
Liar.
I think
Liar.
90 or 91. That was,
It was not.
You youngster,
Get off
That
our
was-
lawns.
get off my lawn.
I was like I think preschool when that came out. You know, and I was going. Yeah, and I've always been a fan of Batman, and my mom like bought it for me at the grocery store. Yeah, I'm old enough to actually have remembered comics at the grocery store,
Sure.
and
Okay.
that was the one that she just picked it up for me, and yeah, that was the first one I ever got and read.
Awesome.
And read it. Oh, I see.
And red, yeah.
I thought it was stained red from something.
No,
Superman's cape.
It's from my story.
Christy, any memories?
Oh shit! I just remember Justice League back in the day when Hanna-Barbera, like I think, animated that shit. I remember Wonder Twins.
Those great character sheets by Alex Toth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like weird. Like a lot of stuff, like even Popeye. Like they did one of Popeye, but Popeye was married to Olive Oil and he was a dad, and it was actually pretty cool. I mean, I used to watch like the old school Popeye, like the 30s and 40s shit. Like I watched Tom and Jerry, and the old school Tom and Jerry to the 80s Tom and Jerry, which was really cool. I've watched a lot of stuff. I remember Pole Position. Remember Dungeons and Dragons.
Wait. Pole position?
Yeah, they did like a lot of the animated. They did a lot of cartoons to the video games on the Atari.
It was a racing cartoon, Scott.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was actually a pretty cool theme song and shit. So it was like, that was pretty cool. So I would like listen to that. I would watch some obscure anime. Like there was a French anime called Ulysses, like 3523 or something. And you can actually find it on YouTube, but it's like a combination of collaboration of French and Japanese. I mean, they have it English, but it's like Ulysses. It's like weird if it was in space. And I started watching it, and then I kind of like spaced out after that.
Joe
Popeye,
says, Christy, the Popeye and Sons 80s cartoon was on CBS.
Yeah, it was something like that. Like Bluto was married to Olive Oil's like friend or something. Like she bogarted him into getting married to her, and ended up having
bogarted her. That's great.
Yeah, he was kind of a dumbass like Bluto, and Bluto was like a used car salesman and shit.
Oh,
so
that's awesome.
I can see Bluto as a used car salesman.
Yeah, easily. Easily.
Yeah,
buy a car, god damn it.
Yeah, I watched Real Ghostbusters. I watched a lot of shit that was really cool, and I just was, I don't know. I mean, it's just I kind of am sad that like what we fucking did was that I would just get a big bowl of fucking Fruity Pebbles and like just pour milk in it, eat that shit all day for 5 or 6 hours. I said, okay, my Saturday's done.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Early in the morning before school, my brothers, I have 2 older brothers, would sit in front of the TV with notebook paper and sketch out schematics of all of the Thunderbirds.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, nice.
And I think I've got the spiral notebook that they put everything in. I've still got it in my possession. If I haven't given it to one of the brothers. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I still have it.
Oh, Kurt,
they ended up. Yeah, Kurt would do that. Yeah.
Okay.
And they ended up building a perfect Thunderbird 3 model.
I'm sure they did.
They had a Thunderbird 1 done. They couldn't get 2 completely right because they were using an oil can. They were pounding out an oil can, couldn't quite get the curve for the containers for Thunderbird 2. Yeah. They had a Thunderbird 4 built up, didn't try to do a 5, but they took my damn sandbox and turned it into Tracy Island.
Oh my God.
Had a little house on it, built up a big mound, and had a little house embedded into it with a swimming pool that would slide back.
Too awesome.
You sacrificed for their art. Awesome.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, there's also Voltron. I remember Voltron back in the day too.
I remember Voltron. Yeah.
I hated fucking like car Voltron because I thought it sucked.
Speed Racer, hurry up, Speed.
Wasn't Voltron the one where he had this lion fist? Or
yeah, it was
one
made
of the
of
versions of it.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was actually really good. They redid it, and it was actually pretty decent. And then they redid Thundercats, but I kind of like the old school Thundercats.
Always.
I just like, I don't know. I'm not really fond of the character sheets right now. I'm not trying to say anything sucks. It's just, I liked how they animated that. I'm trying to remember who was the company that animated it. That did Thundercats. They also did Silverhawks.
Filmation.
I like
Filmation.
Filmation, yeah. They did a lot of
Silverhawks is awesome.
I always thought that'd be nice. I always wanted Thundercats, the whole show, to be as exciting as the opening.
Yeah.
The opening.
I mean, openings are pretty sweet.
Yeah, like the opening is good. Silverhawks was pretty fucking awesome.
Oh, I loved Silverhawks.
The music. Silverhawks is good.
They should actually make that into a fucking live action movie. That would be fucking cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Yeah,
in all honesty, the market for that is probably that. I'm sure Hollywood is thinking that's too old and too obscure of a property for them to use. That's why you don't see a rush for all of these great old pulp brands, pulp properties to get onto film. That and the last couple of pulp movies really didn't do well at the box office. The last Tarzan, which was probably one of the best Tarzan movies ever done, in my opinion, it just didn't do anything at the box office. And The Shadow by Alec Baldwin.
I would love to see a Shadow movie right now.
I would too. And The Rock has supposed to have been Doc Savage, and had that claimed for years, and you haven't seen anything of it. I'm still hoping that Steven Spielberg actually gets off of his butt and does the Blackhawks movie that he's been talking about since the 70s.
That'd be very cool.
He's only had the rights for that forever.
Yeah.
See, the thing is that I think if you market it right, you could do Silverhawks. I'm like watching the intro right now.
Well, anything, if you market it right, you can do well with it, you know, but you can't, you try to bring in a great old brand or an old property like John Carter, and they have a hard time figuring out even how to market it.
Yeah, Space Ghost.
Which is
Bring
crazy.
Space Ghost now. We'll do Space Ghost.
Now you.
I'd hate to see a live action Space Ghost because they try to make it too realistic.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You've got to take that old space opera approach to it.
Sure.
Work. I mean, that's the way to do it. No,
I don't know if any of you ever saw Scoob on HBO Max. If you get a chance and you have HBO
the animated
Max,
movie,
SCOOB.
Yeah,
animated
about
movie.
A year or so ago, I think.
Yeah.
I had a friend that worked on that.
Yeah.
Was
cool.
the writing on it was a little and a couple of the characters are kind of cringy, but the idea behind it I love. And if you watch the end credits has all of these great scenes of these Hanna-Barbera characters meeting other Hanna-Barbera characters that they didn't put it in the movie.
Oh wow.
Oh, they didn't.
Nice.
No.
What all characters were in there?
Oh, we're talking like Frankenstein Jr. and Adam Ant together, that kind of
Wow.
stuff. Just crazy,
Love
obscure
stuff.
stuff. You're sitting there going, "Oh, this is awesome! This
That would
is
have been
cool."
great.
Now,
Yeah.
people
But
might.
the whole idea behind Scoob was the origin of Scooby-Doo, or how Shaggy met
Mhm.
Scooby, and they run across Blue Falcon and Dynamite,
No, that's
and the
Oh.
villain is Dick
Cool.
Dastardly.
Oh,
See, the thing is
Oh,
that
sweet.
that's cool. All right.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
See, the thing is that what I think it would have been cool just to remarket that, because it's just, I was thinking of a different obscure thing. Like they could just remarket Silverhawks just because
Mhm.
that would just fucking
Sure.
come back.
yeah.
I mean, I know some people are like, well, I mean, like you look at Shang-Chi, like you never fucking really heard him until they did a movie. It's like, oh yeah, Shang-Chi, like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know,
right.
I guess it was our time. I don't know. But I just think that might be actually kind of cool on that.
We always pronounced him wrong. We always called him Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's
Always, until we heard his
Well-
name. His name. Oh, it's Shang. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh, Shang-Chi. Okay.
no, it's supposed to be. I think it's supposed to be kind of Mandarin based, like Shang-Chi, like that, or something.
Ah.
It's like trying to pronounce Bill Sinkovich. Yeah, off of the
Yeah.
spelling.
Oh,
You just
took me a long time to realize it was Sienkiewicz.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
I saw him at a show and I
had
asked
a-
him, "How do you pronounce your last name?"
Fantastic artist. One of my
I bet he
favorites.
gets that a lot.
There's an
Yeah.
article in Wizard that actually about
Breaks it
him,
down.
and yeah. They had Bill Sinkovich in the parentheses.
Right.
Sinkovich. I was like,
Right.
that's
I
how
remember
you
seeing that.
pronounce
Yeah,
it.
I remember
Yeah.
seeing that.
Okay.
Brian, how did he say it?
Sienkiewicz.
Sienkiewicz. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not phonetic at all. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Scott, what was your first book, man?
Oh, I know the very first one that I remember seeing was the one that my mom. She worked as a nurse's assistant in the hospital, so she would come home with all these comics from the hospital that the kids were finished reading or whatever, and let me have them. And the first one I remember seeing was a Popeye, which is probably a King Features comic or something,
Right.
and that's what kind of drove me to want to draw, because I hadn't yet seen the Popeye cartoons. So when I saw Popeye in the comic books, I remember looking at his forearms and thinking, well, that's not right. That's not how forearms look like.
Right.
So I wanted to draw a forearm that looked right, like I saw my dad's or neighbors or whatever.
Yeah, you're like all looking like, why does it look like that shit? And
Yeah.
so I actually did a CG thing of Popeye really looked at that realistically, and it was kind of horrifying. I think it's been around on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
It's
God.
Pretty crazy.
I wondered what he's got he's keeping a softball in his cheek or something. What's going on there?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's also like the fact he's probably got dip in his fucking jaw or some shit.
Oh yeah. So I do want to interject though. One of the, not so much the first comic, but the one of the most I've got a whole bunch, but one of the greatest moments I had with comic books related in school was when we were having it was in science class, and the teacher was so impressed that I could recognize the symbols for gold, iron, mercury,
There you go.
because
Platinum.
of
Oh yeah,
the metal men.
Awesome.
Metal Men.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
And she said, "How did you know all that?" And I said, "Well, I read this comic. It's called The Metal Men. It's all these really good." He says, "You learned that from comic books?" I said, "Oh, I learned all kinds of things from comic books." And it was a great moment where she was actually impressed that somebody, I was so
Awesome.
young, like 8 years old, or whatever, that I could have learned that outside of a school setting. And yeah, I said, "Well, comic books, there's
Awesome.
all kinds of stuff in comics." So then she quit yelling at me for reading comics. She realized I was learning something. So
My parents always yelled at me for fucking reading comics, but then they yelled at me about everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here.
Okay, now Ted, you answer the question. Now you asked it. You
Right.
What was the question
Yeah.
again? I'm
None
sorry,
of
I
your damn
forgot.
business. I meant.
no, you liar.
Well, I
First
didn't
comic.
want to read. First off, my mom. I was in first grade kindergarten, and there was a book that I was really I just didn't want to deal with it, and I was. My mom had said, "All right, if you don't read, we're going to send you to boarding school." Okay, that would have been like the ultimate for me. That would have been like the hell on earth if they would have done that. So I went to Checkers bookstore or Checkers drugstore in Detroit on Finkel Street, and
Awesome.
Finkel Road. And this is, I've actually got the original, but this is my replacement that I just got about 2 months ago. So, and that is the
very first
yeah.
Star Wars.
yeah,
There we
that's
are.
Yeah.
and that's about a 8590. And I just got that one. The one that I had though, and Randy will appreciate this. The one that I have, it's actually in my library here, but I've got it's all torn up and it's all wrinkled, and it was in the back pocket when I was riding my BMX bike around, and you know
Sure.
that was it. That's what put it all together for me, and I could really understand the way that words were and everything. It was very easy. I was done with it in 20 minutes. You know, that was great. It wasn't a prose book. It had pictures in it, and I was hooked. That was it.
Yeah.
That was the rest of my
Wasn't
life.
that the comic you were just going to send me to give it to me? Wasn't that the one?
No.
Wasn't it?
No.
Maybe
There was I'm looking for the Space Ghost one though. I've been
don't tease me.
I
It's
have
alright.
the Space Ghost.
Oh,
but
yeah, I know.
also have-
Yeah, I've got that print.
Oh, yeah.
Man. I want that print.
Yeah.
And man, yeah, that
Hand him
was
off, buddy.
yeah, we've got that one. And you know the one behind me here on this side here, that's number 42, and that one actually that's the first Boba Fett in Star Wars in the canon. But John Celestri, who was great, everybody knows him, he wouldn't sign it, but he ended up putting a plaque. He gave me one of these plaques that I could put in the back of the book.
What
Freaking
do you mean he
awesome.
wouldn't sign it? Why wouldn't he?
He wouldn't sign it because it's not his artwork. It's actually it's a Star Wars artist, and I'm like, I totally respected that. So, but he so that one's going to be. I am going to end up getting that pressed and cleaned and slabbed in the future. But yeah, those two are my real, kind of my grails. But
I gave our buddy Paul King, the guy who threw the Midland Comic Con. I gave him a copy of John's drawing of Boba Fett that John did. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
I cried after I saw it because because you didn't give me it, but that's okay.
No, not to skip over.
Good Lord, can we handle it? It's your camera on. Juan.
I was going to say, not to skip over Star Wars, but what is that awesome Peanuts comic off to the side?
That's actually one of the original comic books Charles Schultz did. My aunt was a teacher, and she had back in the 60s. She ended up having a ton of. That's an original Snoopy. There you can see the. And behind it, you can see the bobbleheads and Woodstock and all the rest of them. She's got the whole series she left me when she passed away. So that Peanuts book is just it's just an amazing. I love Charles was the next one. When I was a kid, that was it. So I've been real fortunate growing up with that type of environment. But it's pretty awesome.
Those early Peanuts before Schultz made Snoopy with the big.
Yes.
Mouth.
Yeah.
Were just the most
even the Charlie Brown was different. Charlie Brown looked odd. The early stuff that he did,
like
really odd.
These ones, like he was drawn. He didn't have the big head. Like it was weird. Like you could tell, like in the 70s and the 80s, where the character design changed, where he looked like a fucking hydrocephalic kid.
Right.
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 It's true. And then you look at Charlie Brown, like he actually had a more normal sized noggin.
Yeah.
And everybody kind of like, and because the thing is, like, they would call him a stupid beagle, Snoopy. I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about, so I actually looked up a beagle, and I'm like, what are they talking about? He just looks like some fucking black and white dog.
He doesn't. Probably look like a beagle.
Like beagles, like usually have a white body, but they've got brown and gray and like brindle patches. Right. I'm like, what? And then it showed Snoopy, like, and he still looked really simplistic, and he was black and white, but so was everything else.
I didn't understand why this
came.
This figure came with the astronaut suit and I don't have the globe, but I've got everything else that came with. It has the air tanks, and it's got, I don't know, all these different accessories that she kept. And she's very organized, very much a teacher. Everything was put in little plastic bags, and I've got it. Thank God she did it. Cause it's really, it was really very awesome.
Must have been
I didn't really care about it when I was younger, but now it's like, wow, this is cool.
Juan, are you there, buddy?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Yep.
We can't see you though. Your camera's off.
So I might have to leave soon because I've got some guests, but I just wanted to pop on, say hello, see if you got your shit. And guys, you're getting your shit. I'm going to start shipping out all the shit tomorrow.
We got our
Awesome.
shit. Thank you so much.
It's a fun book. It's really
Yes, it is.
It is. It's awesome. So kudos.
Excellent.
Good job.
Thank
So
you.
are you taking off? It's almost on the hour. So yeah.
Well, okay, I'll stay a few more minutes, and
Right.
because I have some guests, but they're entertaining themselves. They're the ones that actually designed the pins and the patches.
Oh,
so
cool.
Oh,
Yeah.
excellent.
I'm kind of putting them to work of bagging my stuff and packaging it so it looks nice.
You can go back
Juan,
when they're done.
Juan, thanks for coming on the air. Introduce yourself to our audience, will you?
Hey, everybody. I got like 20 cameras and 20 cables all over the place being a broadcasting junkie. So just trying to find out which one goes to what. But my name is J1 Jordan. I am a longtime friend and fan of Randy Zimmerman. I loved and respected this guy my whole life, and we've done all types of amazing things together. But I'm born in Flint, Michigan. My dad was a stuntman in the 80s, worked for Red Fox as his bodyguard for a few years, then did stunts for Disney for a while till he ended up injured himself by losing his toes, and that's how he ended up back up in Michigan. Long story
Wow,
short.
losing his toes. Wow.
That's rough.
But by that point, I fell in love with him working at Disney for so long. I fell in love with movies and animation, and just fell in love with books and comics and manga, and went to broadcasting school from there. Now I'm actually in the South. I'm in Biloxi, Mississippi right now, and I work for a news industry, WLOX.
You're starting to pick up an accent. I can hear it.
No, okay. Speaking of which, so how you were just talking about Snoopy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Cartoons have messed me up in so many ways, in the sense that
Haven't us
We're
all.
laughing
Yes.
sympathetically.
Yep.
seeing a Tasmanian devil for the first time
Mhm.
in real life,
Yeah.
I was so disappointed.
Yeah.
He's not spitting at
Understandable.
all.
No, none of that. Where did this come from?
I love that.
The thing is that they're vicious. That's why, dude. So like they actually showed like they were feeding it with a stick or something, or
Yeah.
those things are constantly aggro. So I remember seeing a video of it, and then it was like squall. You know the term squalling, right? Like where the red fern grows and shit.
Yeah.
That's what squalling. It was squalling, and it grabbed the stick, and it was like literally spinning around. It wasn't like a tornado, but it was writhing around so fast that you're like, oh fuck. Like
Yeah.
that's
God, why?
Yeah.
not the most ragey aggro piece of shit like anger ever. And
I don't know where you got your
They're
icon,
dangerous.
Jawan. It looks like you're just putting something in front of your camera.
oh, it's an OBS thing. It's
Yeah.
an OBS.
Yeah.
That's
Oh, okay.
isn't it a martial arts symbol?
OBS. Yeah.
No, that's the OBS streaming logo.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Okay.
Well,
Well, we're happy you could join us anyway. I've been inviting you on for weeks and hoping that that you can come on. We talk comics. So
Well, the thing normally, I typically work 2 to 10 p.m., but I came in early this morning to do editing instead, so they let me leave early today. So that's the only reason I was home right now.
okay.
ah.
I'm glad
Well,
you could join us.
you won't really be a part of it until people start losing money in your appearances, like me. I'm
There you go.
cottage industry all to myself. So
Oh, that was another thing, Randy, I think you'd love too. So when moving to the South, I moved to New Orleans first,
Mhm.
because of the whole movie industry. They had a tax incentive, of course. And this is why I don't gamble. As soon as I got to New Orleans, the movie incentive, the governor got rid of it.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
So movies packed up, moved to Atlanta. And that's when, of course, they made all the Avengers movies and all that stuff. So just, again, this is why I don't gamble. But
Same thing in Michigan. We had a good
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, our wonderful
Yep.
Governor Snyder chased off
Yep.
all of the MCU down to Atlanta.
yeah,
But
I don't know.
originally,
I don't understand why the
originally
governors
Avengers was
hate.
supposed to be shot here in Detroit.
Yeah.
What
Why
a better
do
way?
governors hate the movie incentive so much?
I don't. They just don't want them crazy
They
artists.
couldn't get their
probably.
hands in any of the money, apparently.
Yeah, apparently
Just,
not.
you know. Yeah.
Good
Anyway.
grief.
It's like they don't want the money. So
Yeah, it was
Cleveland
so
was
bizarre.
right
I
there
mean,
though, going, "Come on."
Yeah.
Tons
Come
of
on
jobs came through when they were here, but
Sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe that's backroom shenanigans that I just not on the level to know about.
there's some great movies that come out of the Michigan incentive program, like Road to Perdition, and
Mhm.
what was the Hugh Jackman movie? I can never remember with the
Steel.
boxing ropes. A Real Steel.
Real
That's what
Steel.
it is. Yeah,
Blue
not Steel. That was Shaq. That was filmed. Who knows where that was? But Real Steel, yeah, come out of the thumb area of
Well,
Michigan.
Transformers had their play in it, and
Yeah.
Batman. What was it? Batman. What was it?
First
the last
Nolan,
one.
first or second Nolan?
Yeah, second one, I think.
Yeah.
And then, well, going back a ways, Somewhere in Time, that was a long time ago. I don't know
that
if
was
they had it.
late 70s.
It's
People,
70s,
there are
you
kids
know.
that have never seen that movie.
Right. It's a damn shame. It's a great movie.
One of
Like,
the
you want to know what Mackinac Island looks like? Go
Right.
go watch Somewhere in Time, and I can promise
right.
you nothing has changed
No,
on that
it
island
hasn't.
since that thing
And
was filmed.
They still market.
Yeah.
They still
Wow.
market that movie.
They go out of the
in the tourist shops around.
once
It's
a year.
amazing.
They have a Somewhere in Time festival.
They do.
And I
That's
think Jane
cool.
Seymour is the last remaining cast
Yeah.
member, major
Yep.
cast member of that film. She's up there almost every year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she is.
And talk about stuck in time. She has not aged one.
No.
Oh yeah,
Amazing.
amazing,
Amazing
yes,
stuff.
a beautiful woman.
Flintstone vitamins.
That too.
That's what it is.
Always
That's what it
helps.
is.
Yep.
Well, there's one from our day, isn't it, Brian?
But you know,
think
I
so.
saw Christopher's son Will yesterday on ABC News, and I
Yeah.
looked at it. I went, "Oh man!"
Does he look just like him or what?
Every time I see him do a report, it's like Warner
Wow.
Brothers, you are idiots. And
Yeah.
this time he was out in the open. He was outside doing the report, and he was squinting. And I'm like, "Oh, forget Superman, dude. You're Captain Marvel. This is awesome. You look awesome."
Oh, that's
He had his
perfect.
hair just right and everything.
Wouldn't that be genius casting to have him as
Muscle,
Captain? Oh
muscle
my
you up a
yes.
little bit,
Oh my
get
God,
you into
yes.
some acting lessons. There's millions of dollars for you to be made
Oh my God!
Incredible.
in this business because he's got the stature. 'Cause this is why the wife watches ABC Nightly News. Every male on that show, every male on that program is buff, and they're all cut.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Don't tell Susie because I'll never see her.
Oh, David Muir. David Muir can tell her the biggest bit of propagandic lies that you can imagine. She eats it right up. Right up. It's like,
Oh, I got to ask. So, speaking of
And
Shazam, what did you guys think about the whole?
you can see
Black
her
Adam
slouch.
and the
Dave's
hero?
been on vacation. You can see her slouch.
What was that, man? I'm sorry. I didn't hear it.
I was
About
saying,
the-
speaking of Shazam, what did you guys think of the whole Black Adam being an anti-hero?
Whatever.
It's subjective. It's
I'm good
subjective.
with it. I'm good with it. It's like the
Yeah.
comics and
It's an embarrassment. It's a solid embarrassment because he's supposed to be Doc Savage. God damn it!
that's right.
Should have
What
been
was I
Doc
thinking?
Savage 4 years ago.
Not
He
that
needs to
Randy
shoot
has
that
any
movie.
issues.
Yeah.
Not that there's,
Wasn't he in a? He was. You're talking about The Rock, right? You're talking.
Yeah.
Wasn't he in a movie a couple years ago? I think I saw on Netflix where it was.
Only one?
Well, it's like on a riverboat. He's a riverboat captain. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Isn't that
Steamboat
kind of
yeah,
the?
It's on
yeah.
Disney.
That
It's
whole
on Disney.
Jungle
segment.
Cruise.
Jungle Cruise.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking,
So I mean,
You
that's
see
kinda-
him in Jumanji, and he's in the safari suit,
Yeah.
and it's like, damn it, that's Doc Savage right there.
Yeah.
Yes,
Just
should be.
Just film the movie. Just film it. Go out and find yourself a great cast of secondary actors, that great character actors to fit Ham, Monk, Rennie, Long Tom.
Oh, God.
You know, and just do the movie.
Yeah.
That would be
And-
awesome.
Yeah,
Just
Shane
film the
Black's
first
had a
book.
script
Everything's
for
great. Just do
10
it.
years.
Who? What?
Shane. Oh God, I have
Shane-
his name. The guy who created the Lethal Weapon franchise.
Oh yeah.
Shane Black.
Shane Black. Thank you.
Yeah.
He's had a script and he wants to direct that thing.
Oh, that
So
would be.
we'll ignore Iron Man 3. But anyway,
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
you know.
but supposedly
You hit and you
he's
miss. You hit and you miss. You know.
He's total bronze, all about the bronze guy, and
Mhm.
he says it's faithful to what Lester Dent used to write. So I
Really?
would love to see that.
That would be great.
And it
That'd
so
be
desperately needs to be done, just so that you can further forget the Ron, Eli,
Right,
and
yeah.
George Pell movie.
Here's something I learned this summer at the Windy City Pulp and Paper Show, Randy. Somebody has made an edit of the Ron Ely film with
And
all the
it's really
stupid
good.
crap taken out. And the John Philip Sousa music has been replaced by a John Williams type soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can't remember
Nice.
what it's called. It's something like like
The way
the
we should have
serious
done it?
cut, or the way they should have done it. Well, there's a
The way they
story
should have
behind
done
that too, Ted. It was originally done as a serious movie,
Hmm.
but by the time before it was released, even before it was edited, the studio switched hands, and so the new regime didn't want the previous regime to get any sort of credit. Like they knew what they were
good.
doing. Like you put the right people in charge now, and
Yeah.
so they made George Powell put in all the camp elements
Oh,
and
that's a
put
shame.
in the John Philip Sousa music by
Wow.
Frank
Nah.
Duvall.
Oh.
And otherwise, it would have been a serious film. But somebody has taken all that shit out and made a serious. It's
Cut
like
of the
10
film?
minutes shorter. Yeah,
That's cool.
Is that
Only 10 minutes shorter. That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you can see fragments of it on YouTube.
Really?
Wow.
It's
I
really,
will
really
have to
interesting.
snoop around. Yeah.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah,
So,
I'm trying to
Juwan,
nail down a copy of it. so.
Everybody already answered the question, but what was the first funny book you remember having?
Oh, sweet mercy. Does like the newspaper count?
If it
Yeah.
has to,
Yeah.
yes.
Sure.
Okay, well, count the newspaper, it will be Calvin and Hobbes. That's my first memory of reading anything in that form.
That's a good one. Yep.
It's funny. I just seen a meme about it today, where like one of those memes about like the kid as an adult passing on to like his son or daughter or something like that. Like the man tear started flowing, man.
Everybody I know needs what I'm selling.
Yeah.
Oh God, yes.
So how did he go from this to being like the kid peeing on the back of everybody's car?
Oh, that was some
Yeah.
like bullshit.
That was some
Yeah, that's not
guerrilla,
official,
guerrilla
yeah.
marketing. Some guy with a vinyl cutter that looks like the one that I have here went through and cut a bunch of them and started offering them to buddies, and then they switched what he was peeing on to whatever everybody
Ford,
was hating on
Chevy,
at the time.
Apple,
Yeah.
IBM. Yeah. On. Yep.
Good grief.
And Waterston doesn't pay any attention to that stuff other than to say no. Anytime any merchandising comes by his desk, it's like no.
Yeah.
So
Oh, wow.
I tried to get Calvin and Hobbes. I think I told you for Flint Comics.
Yeah.
I asked
Remember
them
seeing
for because I was getting stuff from the same syndicate, and now they said no. Waterston doesn't allow that to happen to the daily strip at all in North America. You can only get
wow.
Calvin and Hobbes now through the collections. Yeah,
Wow.
so everywhere else they can run the dailies, but not here.
Why?
And I was like, so
That's
that's the way he wants it.
Interesting.
So he gets what he wants. And another cool thing, and I've told this on the air before, if you ever turn over these collections on the back, there's a scene of Calvin attacking a small town that looks like Godzilla does.
Oh,
Yeah.
That small town is Waterston's hometown of Chagrin Falls, Ohio.
Well, he drew up a
Nice.
kind of a base on it, or
No, still lives in the area.
oh, no kidding.
He drew the town that as you know, Calvin's just right down to the gazebo in the center square and
Wow.
everything.
Oh,
And I know that because I used to date a girl from there.
oh, that's too.
And as
good.
soon as I saw that, I went, "Oh, that is so funny because that's Chagrin Falls right there. That is hilarious." So it's like a little in joke for anybody in the area that knows the town. That's the town. It's there's no question. The businesses are all there in the gazebo, and it's perfect. It's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Good stuff.
Wife's walking around upstairs. Hope you're not hearing that. Anyway.
Oh.
So anyway, pregnant pause. Hey, we're at the top of the hour now.
No, okay. I got jumping back a bit when I was talking about the whole Tasmanian Devil thing and all that, and cartoons just destroying my reality. So when I first got to New Orleans, you know, I'm like, okay, cool, nice culture, southern city. Everybody's going to sound like Gambit from the X-Men.
Right?
Nobody sounds like that.
No.
No one.
No one. I love it.
I had the same thing when I lived temporarily in New England back in the mid '70s. I was expecting everybody to sound like the Gordon's Fishermen,
Right.
you know. And I only had one person in that whole time. I was there for about 4 months. Only one person had that Bostonian accent.
And yet
So-
JD Calderon has the exact opposite problem with Miles Morales in the Into the Spider-Verse movie. Because there's nobody in his neighborhood that talks like Miles does in that movie.
Yeah.
Ah.
And he's in
saying that, yep.
he's in a Puerto Rican neighbor. He's Puerto Rican. So
Wow.
So Michael Lanning, you didn't
Nobody.
go far enough down. Yeah, that's what she said.
Unreal.
who didn't go far enough down?
I'm guessing it was probably Juan. I
Yeah.
guess you're talking about New Orleans and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And his wife lived in New Orleans.
I don't know how much further down you can go than New Orleans. I mean, they're right there on the cusp of the
I don't know. I mean, that's what they're saying. It's either Louisiana or New Orleans or something.
C's in Louisiana too. See, you're welcome to come in anytime you want to. We've got a couple more spaces we can fill here if we have to. So
yeah, we haven't quite got a Hollywood Square going yet.
Yeah, that's right.
No, almost there.
And Christie's going to be leaving here soon anyway. So
yeah, right.
We'll have to fight see who gets to be Paul Lynde.
Grand Isle, a lot further.
Noted.
That's what C. Michael says. He's in Biloxi now, though, so that's a whole nother area.
The first time I ever heard of that town, Biloxi, I thought of Biloxi Blues with fucking Matthew Broderick.
That was an interesting movie. That was an interesting
They just
movie.
built Ground Zero right behind me.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that with Biloxi Blues, that was probably Christopher Walken's one of his best roles.
Mm-hmm.
It was one of the few things he did where it wasn't just batshit crazy for me.
I think him in Balls of Fury was hilarious.
yeah.
I
love
my
that
God.
movie. That's
Freaking hysterical.
That was too
Oh
good.
my God. Oh man, so funny. I think that's one of the funniest movies he's been in. But yeah.
I just caught Ragin 2's comment.
I didn't see
You
it.
can go a lot. Yeah, you can go a lot further down. Is that what you're ordering your husband?
That's what she said.
Yeah, you can go a lot further down. Yeah. That could be why C. Michael's not on the air. I don't know.
First.
For sure. Getting instructions from HR as we speak.
Wow.
Over the chat.
Will the cast of this show please report to HR?
Exactly.
Hey, speaking of JD and Daphne, how don't they have a Kickstarter going?
They do.
Or how's that going?
I believe it's for an Eagle Raven or
think
Tall
so.
Tales, one or the other. Oswald Chronicles. I think JD's got an Oswald running right now.
I think so.
Oh,
Yeah.
there's such a great package those guys got. Oh, just wonderful.
You know, it's funny, and I'm going to say something very inappropriate because it was just funny because Nita's on there, and I just need to embarrass her once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was wait, JD and Nita, JD and Daphne are together, right? And
I think so, yeah.
to which Nita immediately replies, "Yeah, they're banging each other."
Wow. Right out of the gate.
Right.
No filter, just
they've
bam.
They've been together for a long time,
Yep.
so I hope they
Practically interlocking.
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, they're banging each other.
Brian, don't you have that interrupted?
Yeah.
Tall Tales Oswald and an
Yeah, right.
Eagle Raven pre-launch, according to Nita at HR.
Yep.
They're at
Yeah,
Ragin
back
2
to back.
headquarters.
Yep.
Did you Nita, did you get your shit?
Is she still there? Well,
It'll take some time.
It takes her. Yeah, she's got to fight the hamster.
Yeah.
Oh, Mitch.
See off of her.
Yes, sir.
Mitch, shut the hell up, will you? God, talking.
Poor Mitch. Poor Mitch.
I'm like ready to drive to New Orleans right now so I can actually go find somebody that sounds like Gambit now.
Yeah,
You stay down there much longer, you will start sounding like Gambit.
that's Cajun stuff, right? Like,
Just pick that up. She says, "Not yet."
Damn it!
Not yet. Okay. Well, best of luck, because
I just got my shit yesterday, so.
Yeah.
And I'm still waiting on JD and Daphne were supposed to send me a package of month 2 books, so I can have copies of Paragon and Calico in my hands. Been eagerly awaiting.
Isn't Anthony? Anthony's from New Orleans, right?
New Orleans, yeah.
And he's got that accent. He's got the best. I think the best voice.
He's got
on
a
the
drawl
He's got
from
a
down
great
there. Yeah.
voice and just
Yeah, he does.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Actually, I do want to go back to Mitch on a slightly serious note. I see in the cupboard behind you, there's on the second shelf down, there's a kind of that thing there. What is that thing?
Oh, this is a plushy leather face.
Oh my god!
So cool. That's
Oh my god!
Yeah, got it from crap. Where'd I get it? I want to say Loot Crate. But I haven't used them.
There
in
you go.
years,
Yeah,
but-
Loot Crate has all sorts of weird things like that.
Oh
Yeah.
my god!
Yeah,
That's too good.
I used to be a very devoted customer of theirs until they started sending me stuff they already sent.
Oh,
And
really?
double
Oh,
shipments, huh?
shipping. No
Yeah.
kidding.
Ouch.
They're not double shipments. They just apparently they were having legal trouble and were emptying out their warehouse or something.
Oh,
In like 1 month, I got an entire box of stuff that I already gotten over the years from them.
Oh,
You know, I was like, well,
Wow.
well, if they're suffering this much, I'll just stop. You know,
wow.
Right.
Then they sent out like some Thanos cooking gloves at some point. People are like burning their hands alive using them.
yeah,
Wow.
That
Well,
could be cause for a lawsuit right there.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
You're only
Scott,
supposed
Scott,
to look
you
at
want
that glove. Don't use it for actual cooking. Holy crap!
well, they
That's good.
had these chopsticks that were shaped like blades from Freddy Krueger's glove, and you cannot eat with those things.
Oh, good God.
You know, because it's basically just like eating like this, but you can't spread them apart far enough to actually grab anything.
Spear your food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spear your food, yeah, or scratch it.
I would love to see an infomercial on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
What were you
Scott,
gonna
you
say,
want this
Brian?
uncool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
brilliant.
Oh my
That's
god.
awesome.
One of my friends made this for me.
Oh my god.
There you are, right there. Yeah.
And then she started marketing these things. She's actually sold several of them.
That's
Cool.
great.
So when I
Wow.
wake up with pains in the night, I figure she also got some of my fingernails or something and put them in and made a voodoo doll. So.
Well, Brian, to heck with that award. That's your fame and
I
fortune
know,
right there.
really?
There you are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The other, those
people-
are voodoo dolls, though. She was selling them.
Yeah.
She's
Yep,
marking
yep.
them.
Yeah.
They were
And
sticking
people
pins
that-
in you and everything, right?
People that read my books, years from now, they'll be like pointing at this to see where the bad man touched them. So.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Fucking
That went off the rails quick. Wow. All right.
You know what was the worst advocate for fucking Santa? Like, okay, so I remember a kid where we were talking about stranger danger, and that's when we started learning about molestation, like in earnest, in the 80s or 90s. So I remember there was this like grandpa, there was this Santa Claus looking motherfucker, and I am not lying about this. And there's this adorable little girl. She's sitting there, and he pats her on the lap, kind of. I mean, it looks like an otherwise nice little fucking pastoral thing. He says, like, now just remember, don't tell people where I've touched you. I'm like,
What the
and the dude looked like Santa Claus.
Oh, my God.
What the
hell?
fuck? Like, he looked like he was in regular clothes, but he had the curly-ish, kind of longish hair, and he looked like fucking Santa Claus. And I'm like, oh my god! Like, now that I think of it, like, that's fucked up. No wonder my kids cry when they sit in Santa's lap because they think
Wow.
they're molester.
Jesus, really?
Those
Like, that's so
flashbacks.
cute, and I'm just like, oh
Sweet.
god.
Was this something you saw like in real life or like on a movie?
No, it
or-
was like on TV because they would do
Oh.
PSAs. Like, it was Ricky Schroeder when he
okay.
was 13, and he says, you need to tell an adult about these things, and he's on his fucking bike and shit. And then now, like, he's like, what, 50 something? So like, but yeah, he's like talking about it, and he's like, yeah, just remember, and then one of the things in the PSAs, like, it was talking about situation that kids would find themselves in. And one of them was like this little girl, she's sitting there like this, and she doesn't look anything, and it just would look like her grandpa just patting her on the lap like that. But he says, now just remember. And I guess he was unblindfolding her. That was the fucked
God,
up.
that's unsettling. Yeah. man.
And then,
All that.
now just remember, don't tell people where I've touched you. And he looks like fucking Santa Claus in plain clothes. I'm like, oh my God.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
It was so bad. And I was like I was thinking of that just now, and I was like, that is so fucked up. I mean, molestation's fucked up, but it's just like, oh my God. Now probably that's why like a whole couple generations of kids like fucking don't want to sit in Santa's lap because like he's gonna touch me and he doesn't want me to tell my parents where they touch me. I'm like,
oh, Jesus.
oof.
Oh, thank you.
Especially
Good God.
Well, those days are probably over anyway because of
To
COVID. So
say the least.
why does Santa have a weird mask?
Oh,
Santa's wearing leather. What's this?
I found that shit right now. Okay, here.
I've got the plot. I've got the plot for a great Christmas movie. I'm going to sit down and write one of these days.
Uh-oh.
What's that?
I'm not going to tell you because it's a
Oh,
great
that's
plot. One of
Oh,
those.
sure.
It's one of those things like Mariah Carey's Christmas album. People
Yeah, nobody will
be
tell.
watching
Go
it
ahead, Randy.
on the
Yeah.
Nobody will
Christmas
tell right
Eve
now.
for the
No-
rest of
nobody's
their
listening.
lives because it's that good. And I just need to sit down and do the screenplay.
In your copious amounts of time.
Mm.
That and I have to do it soon because I want Danny DeVito to play Santa Claus.
Yeah, like
God,
I mean,
those
yeah.
elves are going to
Why
be
do I
really
find
short,
that
dude.
creepy?
That would be perfect.
If Danny's Santa Claus, those elves are going to be freaking.
No, Hollywood
It's
magic.
the elves.
Hollywood magic.
It's the Lord of the Rings elves. They're taller than Santa.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Yeah.
Hollywood magic.
Lollipop Brigade. Yeah, I
Wow.
can see it now.
Oh, they had one where Jason Bateman picks on Ricky.
Oh, that's good. I'll watch. I'll pay to see that. That's pay per
Oh,
view.
okay.
No,
And they were kids and shit. Look, hold on, let me.
Man.
Call it. And then now we're looking at like old 80s shit. Like, oh fuck, they got into a fight back then. And it's like
I wouldn't mess with Jason now, man. After watching Ozark, I would not mess with Jason Bateman if you paid me. He's psychotic. After
I haven't
watching that.
sat through that or Pinky Blinders.
Oh
Haven't
my
sat-
God.
Seen.
Oh my
I
God.
keep hearing those
Ozark's so
phenomenal.
twisted. I don't even.
Say what now?
I keep
Ozark.
hearing those two shows are phenomenal.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. Yeah, we
Friends are
just got past Yellowstone this
Mm.
last week. Just caught up with all of that, and that was great.
Kevin Costner looks like he's a bad guy or some shit or
Oh,
something.
he's great, and he's talking low all the
Is
time.
he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
takes out this big bad Marine dude, takes him out like he was nothing, and he goes, "I'm not tougher than you, son. I'm just meaner."
That's a cheesy line.
That's all it takes.
It's great. Well, the character Costner's daughter in the show, Beth,
Amazing.
done-
Yeah.
Oh man, what a portrayal that is.
And
Just
great
amazing.
acting job. It's like if you're gonna come on the show and you're gonna be a royal bitch. Oh, great! She just chews that like there's no
Oh my
tomorrow.
God, yeah.
So, and there's some great dialogue. The Taylor Sheridan writing it, just amazing dialogue throughout the show. You can tell that they're all there because they get
And-
to stand there and hit their mark and say, and act the way
this-
that they do. It's just great.
amazing. And the guy who plays her boyfriend, the
Rip.
the head of the
Mhm.
Ranchers, the guy that
Yeah.
the foreman.
Yeah,
He should play Wolverine. He has got that essence.
he's too big. He's too tall and he's too wide. Yeah.
But
But you know the guy who runs the horse trailers, the guy who drives the horses,
Yeah.
the show horses, the guy named Travis,
Yeah.
that's Taylor Sheridan.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
Oh my God.
he's in just about everything he writes.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
just
amazing.
in the background. It's the incidental part, So we're like watching him going, we've seen that guy somewhere before. It's like we
Wow.
looked him up and went, holy crap, it's Taylor Sheridan. It's funny.
That's amazing.
But yeah,
Yellowstone
that show
great
is really good. I haven't sat through 1883 yet, but I am looking forward to 1923, which is the next little short series that they got coming. Because any show any TV show, especially, you can get Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford on.
Oh yeah, brilliant.
I'm
Brilliant.
there.
Yeah.
I'm
What?
just there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're in
Wait
it?
a second. Wait.
They're
So
the patriarchs
Helen Mirren's
of the
the grandmother,
family
right?
during that. Yeah, on that show. It's like,
Wait,
yeah,
wait, you
okay,
got- Wait. Hold it a second.
yeah,
Harrison Ford
yeah,
on a TV show?
yeah.
And
And
Helen
this was
Mirren's
in
his grandmother.
1923.
Right?
Oh, these are the
Because
end days.
Taylor's got a reputation. Anybody he wants, he gets now at this point.
Holy
He's got I don't remember the name, mayor of Kingstown, I think it's called. It's got Jeremy Renner
Mm.
in it. And there's another show coming up that I don't remember the name of, that's got Sylvester Stallone as the main
Oh
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
Tulsa King.
Tulsa King. Yeah.
Tulsa King, yeah.
Cool.
And so Harrison Ford on a TV show, and this is the 1923 version of Yellowstone.
That's what it's called, 1923. It's about the whatever the family name was. Dutton. Yeah, it's about the Duttons in 1923.
Wow.
They were going to call it 1932, but they decided to swap it back to 1923 because apparently Montana went through a really hard depression and a serious drought right about that period.
Wow.
So the ranch has got a lot of problems to deal with.
Wait, this
That's
is
gonna be
Sam Elliott.
awesome.
Sam Elliott is in 1883.
Yeah.
Yes, that's going to be. I love Sam Elliott. He is so. Oh, he's
I
so-
haven't watched that yet, but I kind of know how it goes, but don't spoil it for anybody.
Oh,
No,
Where did they film that? Atlanta?
Like-
Where did they film that?
They
at?
film it up
Rub
in
it in,
Montana,
Ted,
and
rub
they're
it in.
working on a Four
New Orleans?
Sixes series too,
Okay.
Oh,
off of the Texas ranch that's in season 4.
wow.
Yeah, because apparently they went in and bought the 4 Sixes ranch so that they can film on it.
No kidding.
Nice.
Man, that's more of a powerhouse show.
I got the Skinwalker Ranch out in Utah. Out there, yeah.
That would be another great show, wouldn't
That'd be great.
That would be incredible.
Where'd
Kevin
go?
think
I don't know.
about
What's
that
on?
outer-
Kevin's
Yeah,
gone.
think about Outer Range. That's
Outer
a lot
Range.
like
Yeah.
Skinwalker
Right.
Ranch anyway.
Yeah, I've
Right.
sat
That
through
is
that.
an awesome show.
That was crazy. Yeah.
I can't wait for second.
So everybody
second
keeps
season.
pushing people in a hole.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're-
Don't get close to the hole. You're gonna get pushed in.
300.
But it's great.
Yeah, see ya.
Oh, almost exactly like 300.
Lights
Only
out.
they end up going through the hole and slipping in time.
You know,
Yeah,
we
that's
we
what's
slipped
going
around and we were slipping around in time earlier too. It was cool to see all you guys like recap when you were growing up and all the books that you
Oh yeah.
first read. That's awesome. I love watching you guys like regress to like 8 and 9 years old. I love that.
Well,
Awesome.
that's why I do the Sunday Funny Show on Sunday morning. We try to go
Yeah.
through that
Yep.
kind
Fine
of
show.
love, that kind of because we're all passionate about this sequential art, in this
Oh,
art
yeah.
form.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
Scott's even drawing while he's on the air.
You bet.
Yeah.
He's
He's
ignoring us.
addicted. He's addicted.
He's a dick.
I'm a dick. What? What are you saying? I'm a dick.
Ted. No.
Ted's calling me
Hey,
a dick again.
hey.
I can't believe it. After everything I pay him every single month, I never miss
No,
it.
that's why we do programs like this.
Still
Not
calling
just
me
to
a-
annoy Scott. No.
That kind of reminds me of Real Deal. Like when one of my friends, Lawrence, showed me like the vintage Real Deal, and it's like, all right, asshole, don't call me asshole. Okay, poof butt. Fucking. It's like, hey, all right, asshole, don't call me asshole. Like, he actually had me read one of the vintage Real Deals real loud, and it contains some language I cannot repeat on. I said, all right, as a disclaimer, I do not advocate saying any of these words. So do not fucking take it out of context. Because I mean, some of the thing is Real Deal there. It's about characters that aren't good.
Okay, there you are.
Fucking
Christy,
people.
I cannot believe that you have a set of words you won't say on the air.
I've forgotten where you are.
Certain ethically motivated words that were included in the dialogue because of the comic and where it's set in. It's like it's a bunch of messed up people in the ghetto. And he said, "Okay, I'll record you reading." I said, "Okay, I'm going to say this." Some of them say some gnarly shit, so I'm not. Don't tell me that. Don't take it out of context. I advocate saying these words. That's
Well,
all I'm saying.
that's the thing. Daphne and I have got a little thing together. At least I do from her, because she really knocked me for a loop when she said the one problem with some people with Marvel comics, I guess, or Marvel publishing, and she said, "What you've got to do, folks, you've got to quit sucking that dick."
Not just that, but she leaned into the
Wow.
microphone. She
Wow.
leaned into the microphone and said, "Stop sucking that
Oh,
dick."
I've said some.
Wow.
I want my
And
T-shirt.
I
of
have
that.
been under her spell ever since. That's why
Wow.
whenever I say her name, yeah,
It'll go right up there with the shirts that Hart does.
Yes.
It's like Mitch and Randy, like they've heard me say shit offline that they're like, I say it, and they're like, yeah, that's true.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
that's-
I scared Nita one time because I started swearing in another venue in Carl Witzman's green room on Friday nights. I swear, I don't remember even why, and she was like,
Yeah. You know you're in
I
trouble
think
when
you
Brian.
swore,
We got to mute
Brian, and I
Brian.
told- "Yeah," and
in
I'm
a
like, "I
private
don't do
green
anything
room.
but swear." It's like,
Right.
good Lord.
you're going to turn to a pillar of salt. I just know it.
It's
When
fun.
it comes to that kind of thing, we always refer back to Dave.
Well, it's
Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
It's like for me because I constantly swear. When the swear words, the book, like my cursing vocabulary drops completely. It's like you're in trouble because I'm really angry. I don't
Wow.
Oh.
get very angry. I actually I go on this whole thing and I do the thing of the outline of everything, and I mean I don't like bragging about it. It's not really a good skill. I got it from my mom and dad, but it's like dressing people down. It's
Mhm.
like
Oh,
I
man.
turned into a Marine drill sergeant almost, sort of. It's like, goddamn.
Oh, mercy. We got this on tape, yo.
Oh. So whenever Chrissy says,
We're
I
on
think-
tape, Juan. We're
I think
archived
you
over
and
at the
I should
Raging
have a
2
cup of
YouTube network.
tea and sit down and talk this over completely.
Yeah, it's like, then you've really
You got
made
10 seconds to live.
And it can't be, what we're saying can't be too bad because we're
Yeah,
still on
countdown.
Facebook.
Yep.
So it's all
Yeah,
good.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like I mean, the thing is that like it takes a lot to make me mad, and it's usually I let people know as I get angrier, like, okay, stop, like let's not talk about this, or I'm getting angry, we need to stop, or whatever. But it's like when you kind of don't listen to me, and it gets to that point, it's not nice. I mean, as I said, I don't get verbally abusive or mean. It's just it gets like, no.
It's your version of mothers using their 3 names to call you over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
One of my friends is Vietnamese, and we were talking different like Asian women and stuff, and he was okay. I've just heard other Vietnamese dudes say this, like Vietnamese women are nuts, and I'm like, why? It's like Vietnamese women that I've met are really awesome. They're sweet, and he says, yeah, just don't fuck them over, because he told me some like stuff in his family and all that like crazy shit. Like one aunt like got really upset at her parents, and she was a little kid. So she was a little kid in Vietnam, and she went out and laid in the middle of the street to get what she wanted. And it was like fucking full of scooters and shit. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
I think that kind of reputation follows with almost every ethnic group.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, there's different levels of crazy, like different levels of tea. Like, there's
my wife for a while there was constantly reminding me that her and Lorena Bobbitt were of the same cultural heritage.
Oh God.
Eek. I'd stop sleeping.
Right.
Okay, so the joke continued. Right?
Weenie whack, go weenie whack.
So,
Unity.
okay, so we're talking. And they get really mad. They'll just tell you what's on their fucking mind. And he said, yeah, but, and I said, maybe she'll punch you in the face. I don't know. And I kind of made a joke about that. And he said, yeah, but y'all know how to hit. I said, yeah, I've kind of practiced on this.
Wow.
How did we start talking about my first wife?
Oh.
We need to change this subject.
Fast.
And quickly. Yeah.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Y'all know how to hit.
Hey, you guys want to see what I'm drawing?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely, we do.
Here we go.
Bring him full screen. Where's he
Wait
at?
a minute. That's okay. That's Wolverine.
Nice.
There we are.
Oh,
yeah.
see,
Hey, hang on, Scott. Give
Hold
me a
on.
second.
Hold on, Scott.
Okay,
There we
go
are.
full screen.
Boom.
Here we go.
Oh, that's nice, man.
Oh, that's lovely.
Look at that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That looks great.
You know,
That's
you'd be
amazing.
really good drawing Space Ghost, bro.
You should do that
You should
professionally.
try that.
That's a good idea.
Oh, I love
Yeah,
Space
it's great.
Ghost.
It's beautiful, man.
Now you see what he's doing. He's crossing his claws, and the sparks are forming that X above his
That's
head.
awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Wicked.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a
I
nice
was wondering
print,
what that
bro.
X meant.
You're gonna print that out, or no? You're gonna make
Yeah,
it
I'm
print?
gonna make them into a print. This is a commission for somebody, but I'm gonna make it into a print.
Sweet.
Nice.
Cool.
So they wanted a kick-ass Wolverine,
It's wicked.
Beautiful.
That's
and
wicked.
they said, can you find a way to put the X-Men X in there? I said, okay, so
That's
I thought
it.
about, oh,
Done
okay,
deal.
Genius.
Very
Yes.
nice.
It's really cool.
Very nice, Scott.
You really
Awesome.
need to
They
work on
chose-
Space Ghost, though. You gotta do a Space Ghost.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, if
You
can
can
make it
do
as
all
nice
of
as
the
this
Hanna
one, dude,
Barbera characters.
you know?
Yeah.
Eh?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that is
nice.
superb.
I think you'd be really good at that, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should try it. I should try it.
You know, I kind of wonder what Demon Bitch would look like if other people drew her. I've gotten fan art. It was really weird.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Challenge
There we go.
accepted. Yep.
Somebody
Yep.
drew her sexy, and I'm like, what? And she had porn tits and everything, and I'm like,
I can only do so much, Christy, but I'll see what I can do.
I don't know. Somebody did that. They said, oh, yeah, I'll draw Demon Bitch. Go ahead,
Oh.
knock yourself out.
Dad, trust me, we know you can do quite a bit.
You have to be
Thank
careful
you,
with
man.
that though, because then you're inviting cosplay at the show.
Well, some people wanted to cosplay as her. I'm
I
like, okay,
think
fucking have the
that
patience,
would be
just do it.
that would be
be
really, as you
hilarious.
draw her, that as a cosplay would be great. I think that would be hilarious.
Here is like a lady death shape.
Yeah, like fucking Brian Polito like draws her. I'm like, okay.
And
No,
I
yeah,
want you to
yeah,
know,
Brian,
Christy,
sure. He's a super guy. He's so nice. He's such
I
a nice
agree,
guy.
Brian.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
you have added to my vocabulary. I'm now going to put down the words porn tits and add it to my everyday.
Well, I guess you're gonna look a certain way.
I think that'll be awesome.
They kind of like evolve over time because like in the 90s, you know how they were like big fucking balloons that were attached to a woman's chest.
Yes. Yeah.
Now they're kind of more natural looking where they actually have some heft and everything.
Depending on how old the porn is that you're looking
Right.
at. Yes.
Right.
I like the one female comedian that was saying about all these women that in porn, and he said, all their tits, they look so angry.
The 90s,
I know exactly what she means.
Yeah.
It's like they're just staring at you.
Straight at you.
They're judging you.
Yeah, judging you.
I'm judging.
Is that all you got, big boy?
Wow.
Welcome to the ZimmCast, everybody.
Yeah.
Wow.
Come on in. Bring the kids.
And I was the
See how
first
this
person to
discussion
sit.
runs? Yeah, absolutely.
When's the
Come on
next
in.
kids
Hit that
book
like
coming out,
button.
Scott?
Hit that like button up
Awesome.
there.
It's a Christmas album. You'll love it. You'll love it.
Oh God! Now I'm bringing up that fucking Santa PSA in my head again.
I am going to print some copies of
Oh, my God.
HeroBot 2, Scott, that's got your cover on it.
Oh, awesome. Awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully,
Hey,
we'll
how-
have
how
those
are-
available
how are
at the
the-
start
how-
of August.
How are the books moving from the
Those campaigns are done.
are they?
Yeah, everything's out. Everything's
awesome.
out. People have gotten their books. I haven't heard anybody giving a critical critique of anything that we've sent. But you can't argue with the printing job. That's for sure.
Oh no,
Beautiful.
God.
Oh, the
Printing on
that's
those
the
books are
Indiegogo
phenomenal.
that you guys had out.
Yeah.
The main. Yeah.
Yeah, we had an Indiegogo and a Kickstarter.
Mine was-
Fellowship of the
mine-
Indies. Yeah,
Mine
They're
was
all-
hand delivered. It's beautiful. So I mean,
that was all fulfilled about a week or so ago. Everybody's got theirs. Hopefully, they should have theirs by now. Even the overseas guys.
Cool.
Everybody should have them.
Awesome.
The week twos, I think, went out last week or the week before. So all of those should be out or just about hitting the mailboxes now. I'm waiting. They overprinted some of the month 2 books for me to sell because I wanted to see copies of them. And since they were
Good.
printing them, I just printed a few extra for me to sell at shows. And then I'm going to start probably getting stuff done print on demand. That'll be HeroBot 2 and maybe some more Calicos, maybe
Really
some more
good.
Paragons. Yeah.
really good.
Wow.
It's no sense in letting it go to waste. You know,
No.
they're there and they're
Good
Not at all.
some great stuff. So and then we'll start offering. I got a guy now who's doing it's got an eBay store that's going to be offering some of the books here shortly. He'll get his copies of those books tomorrow. That he'll start making a big splash. He wants to sell independent and alternative comics, and
Excellent. Good.
he's
Oh,
he's
nice.
starting slow and building his way up. So he'll have all of the Arrow titles out there.
Excellent.
Except
Very
for
cool.
Sin Killer. I haven't arranged for him to get Sin Killer yet, but that turned out really well as well. That wasn't part of the deal. So
Well, you know, speaking of a slightly derailed topic, but speaking about comics and all that, comic
Mhm.
art,
Please
is
do.
somebody connected to John Flesk on Facebook.
no.
He just posted that.
Who's that?
John Flesk, publisher. He does all these beautiful art books.
Oh.
And
Hmm.
he's talking about this book he's going to put together of Bruce Timm's.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Nice.
And he just talked about him and his wife drove down to L.A.
Mhm.
and they sat, and for over 3 days, they sat and scanned nearly 500 Bruce Timm original pieces of art.
Wow.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Talk
That
about
is sweet.
Oh, what a time that would be. Oh my
That'll
God.
be great to archive all that, and then
Oh,
even whatever marketing wise, but archiving it alone.
I got a coloring book
Great.
from Ollie's. It was only like $3
Mhm.
of a black and white version of Mad Love. That was a coloring book.
no
Oh yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
Just beautiful. And as soon as I opened up, I said, "Oh yeah, it's all Bruce Timm on the inside. Just
Awesome.
gorgeous.
Oh my God.
All of the color removed. It's just phenomenal."
Wow.
Sweet.
Wow.
yeah. He did a great Batman black and white story about Two-Face.
I bet he
That
did.
was
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I
Where
picked
was-
up the Graphic Ink. I think it was Graphic Ink collection for Darwin Cook
Mhm.
as well. Beautiful hardbound book of his stuff. It has all of the DC covers that he did because there was 1 month that he did all of the line.
Mhm.
Just beautifully done. Just amazing
Oh,
stuff. A
nice.
lot of his comic work was in that, and just gorgeous production.
Oh,
Beautiful
the
book.
Darwin Cook was just great. Oh my God, his stuff was incredible.
Yeah, there's some books that you reread on a regular basis, and New Frontier is definitely one of them
Mm.
for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a good
that
one.
and Watchmen, because it's like
Oh
the-
yeah,
the,
well, yeah, well, yeah. It's a
the
staple.
two ends of the same spectrum. You know, just
Oh,
what
I
a
think
what a
I've
love letter.
read
So
Watchmen
happy to
1,000
see that.
times.
Say what now?
I've read Watchmen 1,000 times.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah.
get tired of it.
No,
Yeah.
there's always more stuff to find in that
I
book.
think Glenn B. Fleming talks about the Watchmen all the time.
Did you ever
I think
read the New Frontier books?
Me?
Juan?
No. No,
No, I didn't.
Oh, they're great.
Oh,
Yeah, you should
phenomenal.
check them out.
Darwin Cook does the origin of the DC universe, basically, is what it is. It goes all the way from the end of the Golden Age through the start of the Silver Age.
Wow.
Really?
That's the easiest way to describe it. And it's just beautifully done. The whole thing is a love letter, but it's all set up in an incredible chronological order.
Mm.
And even has another character in there, John Henry, with a large hammer that is
Not
in the
Steel,
mix.
John Henry.
No, not the Steel. No, not the Steel, John Henry.
Which I
We
love,
just-
by the way.
We just
Me
finished
too.
off the Superman and Lois's, by the way. Those are phenomenal too. Just great stuff. And the last episode of the second season, the Lois's dad turns to them, and this isn't spoiling anything, so in case nobody's seen it yet that wants to see it, turns to them and tells them that they're on an Earth that Superman is the only hero on the world.
Oh,
And they're so lucky to have him. And it's like, oh, well, that sets everything up just fine. Then okay.
Holy
So-
crap. That's awesome.
Yeah.
wow.
He goes,
Okay, the
I've worked at the DOD for decades. I've seen things you would not believe. I've seen other worlds with entire leagues of superheroes. And Superman is the only one that's here on this earth, and we're lucky to have him.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow,
That's almost exactly what he says. Just phenomenal. It's like, what? That's cool. Okay.
Oh my God.
Don't need no stinking Arrowverse.
No. But
Why isn't the second season of Superman on HBO? Is there any reason for that? Is that some
yeah,
legal
because they
thing or
just
something?
finished it. They just got done showing it on the CW.
Oh, so I gotta wait 20 years?
No, it's usually you might go up there and check, or you might check on Netflix. I don't know how the CW deal is still running, but it used to be that whenever a superhero DC show like that was done, like a week or so later, the whole season would show up on Netflix. I don't know if that deal still holds for Superman and Lois. Wherever the first season is, that's where the second one will show up.
Oh, okay.
All right, yeah, because I was watching the first season on HBO and I loved it. I did
Oh,
not.
if it's on HBO Max, that's where the second season will be then. Yeah. It's
'Cause
really
if
good.
Anything with like the whole teenage kids things, I was like, oh, I'm going to hate this. I loved every second of that show.
Isn't that amazing? What a great turnaround on that show. Because I come into it with the same thought.
Yeah.
Why are
The
they
whole,
doing this?
oh,
Yeah,
the world's being destroyed, but the problem's tomorrow. I've always hated
right.
that concept.
Well, especially on CW, because the guy they had playing Superman, it's the same guy that was playing Superman and Supergirl, and that guy was horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't stand him. I said, why have they got this stupid milquetoast dude playing Superman? Then you see Superman and Lois, and it's exactly the opposite. So somewhere between Supergirl and Superman and Lois, Tyler, I want to say Tyler Durden, but that's not the guy's name.
Hoechlin.
I was like, wait, what?
Tyler who?
Hoechlin.
Hoechlin.
Yeah, he's
Tyler
the kid
Hoechlin.
from Road to Perdition.
Yeah.
Oh, is that him?
it's
Team
really,
That's
that's
great.
cool.
on the
Oh,
team.
wow.
I got to go
Great.
back and watch that now again. But somebody pulled him aside, or he sat down with a bunch of Superman books and went, "I've been portraying this character completely wrong.
Oh,
this is
very
how
cool.
he needs to be shown." And it's Superman and Superman.
Oh,
alone.
that's awesome.
Not some stupid milquetoasty character, poorly written and poorly performed, and it's just that Superman and Lois is amazing. What a
It is.
great show. And
Ran-
then Stargirl's fun too, but you have to kind of brain check yourself.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as Legends was, but
Randy, I
love
think
those characters.
you've also added to my vocabulary. I am now going to imitate the way you say the words milk toast. I just love it. You're just awesome. Awesome. I don't know what it is.
Right, me neither.
That's
Whenever,
trying to
you know,
describe the
Scott can rip on
idiocy.
anybody, throw you in
Yeah.
front of a bus, and it's just thank you, Scott. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's awesome.
So,
I have a comic book question.
You
For
gotta
all you
be-
guys that like DC.
Don't make it
It's-
too deep, but go ahead.
Okay. All right. Jimmy Olsen, comic book.
Uh-huh.
Why? Why did they
Yes.
produce that?
Yep.
Why?
Yeah.
Which one? The
Okay,
one
good
they're on
question.
now?
No, the 70s. Why did
So-
they?
The 60s, you mean?
60s. Sorry,
60s.
I'm going through a stack of them here at the house, and it's just like
Drugs.
this is
Superman's best friend.
why didn't they
Jimmy
burn
Olsen.
these? Why didn't they burn them? But
Well, you
Because
need
they
to
were
sit down.
awesome.
You need to sit down with your Captain Marvels that you just
Oh, yeah, well, yeah, I
your
will.
Golden Age Captain Marvels with
I
CC
will.
Beck and Otto Binder doing the majority of the writing.
Well,
Because the majority of that writing talent transferred. Once Fawcett shut down, they all ran over to DC and they wrote Jimmy Olsen, Lois Lane, and Superman for many, many, many years.
Yeah, in fact, before Kirby took over, one of the regular artists was Pete Costanza, who was one of the Captain Marvel.
I mean,
artists.
Neil Adams did some
And
good
a
work,
guy
man,
on
but-
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there's also there was probably a big marketing thing too, because at that time when Jimmy Olsen had his own comic, of course, Superman was like the best-selling comic, and DC was certainly trying to capitalize on trying to put out more Superman comics. And Jimmy Olsen was really nothing more than another vehicle to get Superman another space on the stands.
And plus, they were coming off of the Superman TV show as well, and Jimmy was
That's
on
true.
that. So
That's true.
Jimmy and Lois got their own
straight
books.
answer from you. Okay.
Superman's pal, Superman's girlfriend. You know,
just a way to
Superman
capitalize
action.
on the property.
Yeah,
Did
exactly.
you ever have a Perry White book?
No.
Perry White.
Yeah, right?
Why not? I mean,
Why
I mean,
not,
that's
right?
Jimmy Olsen, you know,
Which would have been. There's a lot of possibilities there too, because he could have been actually haunted by Caesar's ghost.
Yeah.
Great.
That could have been incredible, because every time he said "Great Caesar's ghost," he could have been looking at him on the other side of whatever he was yelling. Great
I
Caesar's
like
ghost.
That adds so many more layers.
Oh my
Absolutely.
God. His one personal trauma nobody ever recognized. Oh.
Yeah.
All they're doing is making fun of him.
Actually, funny enough, I was
Pain of Perry White.
Caesar's ghost. I
You
was
what?
at home, and I was at the very temple where they burned his body.
Wow.
Caesar's body?
Diana or Artemis. They called it.
Oh, okay.
Caesar.
And it was kind of funny because people like still have coins and flowers on that shit, and I'm like,
Really?
dead for how many years? But it's like here's a thing for my homies. It was just like,
Well, depending upon which Caesar it was, they're just thanking him for July or August.
yeah. Well, there's
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, there's this was Julius Caesar that got burned, and apparently it was a big fuck you to the government that failed to protect him because you weren't supposed to do that.
Well, the government killed him, so
Yeah.
Great, yeah.
Well, there's that.
Inside
Yeah.
job.
The most hood political ending I've ever seen.
Yeah, like it's actually you weren't supposed to burn them in the temple. There was like a certain way how you disinterred the bodies and everything. Like I think they burned the bodies or let it decay, and then they would put it in an ossuary. That's how they usually did it. But yeah, it was kind of crazy.
So they
What a bunch
disrespected
of
this man at
bitches.
every level.
But
Yeah,
talking about having your,
It's like fuck it. Like Mark Antony just built this funeral pyre. Say I'm burning him in the Temple of Artemis. Fuck you all. You fucking fail.
Good God.
boy, talk about holding a torch for 2,000 years.
There you go. Yeah.
Literally.
Man.
Everywhere on that rock. It was like, this is where they burned Julius Caesar. And there's like all this money and flowers and shit on the rock. I'm like, damn, this is like OG motherfucker right here. You know?
That's like all the places George Washington slept in.
That's right.
There's a lot of
Every other
places.
temple they burned to Caesar. Here we go.
Print the money.
Print the money.
Yep. Yep.
Just love it.
Man.
He did one epic rap battles of history, and he says like, yeah, I mean, it's like I've got my own money and I've got power kind of thing, you know, like I've got a capital named after me, I got money named after me. Fuck you. Like, what are you gonna do?
And a month of the year, most likely. Sure.
Yeah.
Everything.
And he had a shitty temper too, apparently.
Jeez.
George Washington. Well, I mean, he had to have dentures, and they weren't particularly comfortable back then.
Oh
so-
God.
Oh, Washington? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
How did we survive at all?
I think smallpox wasn't able to kill him. It just rendered him sterile, so he's kind of pissed off for the rest of his life. Then how he died was kind of dumb. He went riding in the rain, and he was like 70 something, and he came back and he didn't change out of wet clothes, and he died of pneumonia or some shit.
What was he trying to prove?
Wow.
Well, at least he didn't have to read Jimmy Olsen.
I
That's
mean,
all I'm saying.
I mean,
There's
yeah,
Send your
charm.
hate mail to Ted at.
Most people would probably have you go through those Jimmy Olsen's,
I
work your
am.
way up
I'm
to those
just
Kirby
teasing.
stuffs. That's
Yeah.
what you need
Yeah,
to do,
yes,
and
I will.
then watch your mind get blown
I know.
trying to read that crazy Kirby 70s stuff because he goes
He's
way
he's
off
at
in
it.
another
Hey,
direction.
hey,
He's
Brian, you're gonna have to keep an eye out. Next time you're at the Superman celebration, You'll know Ted's there because you'll probably see an effigy of Jimmy Olsen hanging from the Superman set.
Probably, yeah. That'll be the year we put up the Jack Larson statue.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
What was weird was that like, okay, for a while, I mean, and it was like a little less weird, and I'm not trying to say this to sound weird, like, okay, I think there was a storyline in Nick Fury where he was black, right? And you know, they made him into Samuel L. Jackson. That was actually kind of logical because, you know, Nick Fury's a badass, so Samuel L. Jackson, I guess. You know, there you go. But then, like, randomly, they fucking made Lawrence Fishburne into Perry White, and they made Jimmy Olsen black, too. And I'm like, oh, okay.
It's a double reversal.
Yeah, I was like, all right, fine, cool. You know, and we
And
just
at one point, Chris Rock was going to be Robin in the Tim Burton movies.
Really?
No,
really?
Wow,
I missed that one.
Good lord!
Wow.
It wasn't Chris Rock. It was Marlon Wayans was supposed to have been.
They were also talking about Marlon Wayans.
Wow.
I do remember that.
That's all right though, because initially Jack Black was supposed to be Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern movie.
We dodged the
Thank
bullet.
God that never happened.
Wow.
We dodged that bullet.
Wow.
Nick Cage was supposed to be in fucking like
Superman.
to be Superman, and that didn't.
Oh,
Man,
did
right?
you see those still images of him in the Superman suit?
Yeah.
There's a phenomenal documentary out about that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
There
It was
is.
like in the
It's
90s.
Well
Death of
worth
Superman
everybody's time to
Lives.
sit and watch because
Yes.
what's his name? Bruckheimer? Was
Jerry
that the
Bruckheimer?
that?
Yeah. Or no,
not Bruckheimer. It was the other producer,
John Peters.
Peters. Yeah.
John Peters.
Oh boy.
and-
Oh boy.
yeah.
You need to see those interviews. Holy Moses.
But see the Wild Wild West before you do.
Yeah. See,
Oh, was that the producer that wanted the giant spider?
Yes.
had to have had to have a giant
definitely.
spider.
You know what fucking movie pissed me off, but it wasn't because of the casting. Casting was great, but the script sucked balls. Spawn. Like Michael Jai White was fucking awesome.
Oh
He was
man.
perfect.
Oh, yeah.
He was
That was
perfect.
fun. I was just watching that earlier today.
Yeah, but fucking like they shat on the script. Like they shat and diarrhea all over the fucking script. It's like they could have
How do you really feel, Christy?
the movie, but they put the shit.
Don't hold back. Don't hold back for us.
Yeah.
Wow. He was fucking
Was it like a whole
Wanted to
deal
see
with like
Jason Wynn?
there was like too many like black people in the film or something like that, so they didn't want to give him that much money, or unless he changed something or something weird.
I don't know. I mean,
That's,
Like
yeah.
that's the fucking thing. Is like Al Simmons is fucking black. So is his friend Terry. You know, it's like
Yeah.
Yeah.
like then nowadays they said Black Panther was the only fucking like black super. It was like what the fuck?
No, Blade. I mean, come on.
Like
It's-
Blade
yeah.
and Spawn, you idiot.
That's just a short-term memory of Hollywood acting up
Yeah.
there. That's
I mean,
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
into rebooting, but I think Spawn would be a really good reboot.
I thought they,
Now.
they
McFarlane's
saying
been
they're
working
gonna
on
reboot
it
that
for years.
haven't they?
Yeah.
Don't recast anybody. Fucking have the same cast. Just have a better script.
Yeah, and that's cool. And better,
Guy White
better
looks
technology for the science.
Oh my god! Can you
Very-
imagine this tape with today's technology?
Oh, right.
Michael
That's a
J.
movie
White-
in itself, man. That's a movie in itself. You
Yeah,
saw
I
what they
remember
did with
seeing that
Doctor
movie.
Strange's. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, oh,
Can you
man, that,
imagine?
I was more in love with the cape than anything
Right.
else.
Right.
Yeah, I
Oh,
remember
that cape
seeing
was
Spawn the
phenomenal.
movie as a kid, and I was like, "Wow, special effects will never get any more advanced than this."
Yeah.
This is the pinnacle.
right. Right.
You know, I watch it, and I'm like, "My God, this is
Yeah.
dated horribly."
I had
Oh,
the
yeah.
same. I had the same effect when I watched A New Hope
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and
back
then
in
we've got
'77. Oh, it
masterpieces
doesn't get any
like,
better than this one.
Oh yeah.
then
I
we had
said that about the original Spider-Man gliding up the wall like it's never going to get better
Yeah.
than this. It's impossible.
Well,
Yeah,
I
they-
will say the Spawn movie did give us John Leguizamo as
Mhm.
what's his
Clown.
name, the one fat villain. Oh,
Violator?
Oh,
Violator.
Yeah, he went all
Yeah.
types
tore
of
that
bullshit,
up.
didn't he?
He tore that part up. He was just
Oh,
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
But like
really good.
Leguizamo is a very underrated actor.
I
though.
think
Yes,
so.
he is.
I
He's
think
really
so.
good
Yes,
when
he
he
is.
wants to be.
He was good as Tybalt in Romeo and Juliet. Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet.
Mhm.
He was good.
But you know, then you've got movies like 2001. I mean, the things that Brian K. Morris talks about. I mean, that was an incredible. I mean, for what they had to work with, incredible
Yes.
movie.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
and then you see you see some of these other ones like what, the first Fantastic Four movie. I was like,
Oh dear
What?
Lord.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Was
Well,
that-
they had a
Martin
small
Foreman?
budget for that.
Oh,
That-
yeah.
that was a
Apparently.
joke of a film right from the get go.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it was made essentially not to be released. It was,
Yeah.
copyright.
Yeah. Just
Thing,
the
right,
rights.
right.
Did they just make it in order to keep the copyright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Here-
Oh, I see.
That's
Only-
tragic. That's tragic.
That's a Roger Corman production too, and he's known for having real thin budgets. So.
Yeah,
like none.
Like none. Yeah.
But it's amazing what he pulled off with a budget.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Oh, he's done some great films over the years.
And-
His Edgar Allan Poe film.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
The 60s are amazing.
Fall the House of
But then
Usher.
anything that Vincent Price is in is amazing anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just the way it
That's
is.
my man. That's
Price
my man.
Anything that Peter Lorre is in, it's just amazing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Even the bad ones where he's playing the Asian detective are still worth watching.
Yeah.
Charlie Chan.
Peter Lorre. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie.
sorry.
Of
Yeah.
course, all those guys were, they have these heavy vaudevillian training,
Mm-hmm.
that they
Stage,
just use to the
heavy stage training as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very much.
Can't go wrong. Yeah. And all that transfers over to radio dramas,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sure.
yeah.
acting and all. Just
Yeah.
there's some great stuff out there that nobody. It's just like those old pulp magazines. Great stuff out there nobody's reading. It's just come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
sure.
some great
Oh, yeah.
characters, some great stories, some great situations. Just take your time and enjoy them.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And speaking of radio dramas, we really have Orson Welles to thank for a lot of incredible talent that covered the screens. Everywhere from the guy who played the police chief on Perry Mason. I figure he was a big Orson Welles player.
Right.
And Agnes Moorehead from Bewitched.
Yeah.
She was huge in a lot of Orson Welles stuff.
But she was in a
kinds
lot of movies before she picked up that Bewitched gig. But now she'll always be known as Endora. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joseph
Yeah, I
Cotton.
had no idea.
And,
Joseph
John
Cotton.
Houseman.
Joseph Cotton. Yeah.
John Houseman.
Brian.
Yep.
Houseman. Yeah.
Loved his Kingsfield.
Well, also on HBO Max, they have a great documentary about the making of Citizen Kane. It's well worth your
really?
time watching. Yeah. And how crazy Orson was, just bored out of his mind in his mid-20s. Bored out of his mind. He got a chance to do a movie, bored out of his mind. So he sat there, and it's really cool because they show him in front of the whole entire staff, apologizing to them. It's my first movie. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes, but we're gonna do this from the ground floor up, and I'm gonna learn a lot of stuff, and you're just gonna have to put up with me because just think of me as the dumbest person in the room.
Wow.
It's just amazing. And the last shot of the movie, he had him drill through the sound stage, cut through the floor, and dig down 6 feet so that they could get the camera right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he wanted an angle that covered all the way from the base of the character's foot to the tip of his head. He says, well, the only way you're going to get that, Orson, is if you dig a hole in the floor. He goes, okay.
He did it. Wow.
He comes back with a sledgehammer because nobody else took him seriously and started banging into the floor.
Well,
Where was this documentary?
It's
a documentary on Citizen Kane.
It's on HBO Max. I can't
Yeah.
remember the title of it. It's got an odd title because it's named after the movie number that they gave Citizen Kane. for the production.
RKO 2 something.
Yeah.
RKO.
Wells,
If you search under RKO, it'll pop up.
Yeah. Wells always says in every interview he's ever done, he said his greatest tool in making Citizen Kane was his ignorance. He just didn't know.
Yeah.
And,
He
ignorance
didn't know
on
he wasn't
fire, huh?
supposed to do it, so he did it. Yeah.
That's cool.
That's why that's why Citizen Kane will be studied in cinema classes indefinitely for
and he
many,
wasn't
many
limited.
decades to come.
He wasn't limited. He's a lot like us as creators because when we got into this, none of us knew what we were doing anyway.
Yeah.
So we just go for broke, I mean,
the studios only gave him the position of writer, producer, and star because they figured he wouldn't go anywhere with it. They wouldn't lose any money, so just let him do what he wanted.
Yeah.
And that's what you get. You have
They were
somebody
totally expecting him to fall on his face, and then when they found out what the movie was about, they tried to keep the movie from coming out.
Oh yeah. But
what a
it was
racket!
just
What a
awesome.
racket! Yeah.
Well, it's amazing when you find out what Rosebud actually meant.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. Okay.
And I from what I understand, Wells thought that the whole Rosebud angle was probably the weakest part of the film. Yeah.
Oh
no.
No.
Oh no, he said that it smacked a little bit too much of a dime store or armchair psychology.
Oh, sentimentality.
Yeah.
He had to explain it anyway because we can. We're almost at the top of the hour here, but Rosebud was actually the nickname that Hearst gave to his girlfriend because a certain part of her anatomy reminded him of a rosebud.
Yep.
Oh, no kidding.
No.
Oh my God.
Yep.
So
Her nose?
Yeah, her
Maybe.
nose.
Yeah, that's
something
it.
like that. Yeah.
That's it.
We'll go with that.
Yeah.
I have friends that watch all the ass of the internet, literally. It's a certain term used in a certain type of technique that if you do this enough times, it happens. That's all I'm going to say.
Well,
This is that guy friends that show me the worst things on the internet.
Hearst found out that the movie was about him, or felt about it absolutely from the start. But when he found out they were in search of Rosebud, he just blew a gasket.
Yep.
That's why there's the ending that there is, because it was meant to be the most simple of things. But it's still, like I said, it's still a movie that everybody's going to be studying for the rest of their. Anybody that's interested in cinema will be watching that film and dissecting it for decades to come.
Oh yeah,
so.
yeah. It's
Plus,
just,
he was the Shadow.
Yeah, he was for sure.
He was the Shadow.
Nothing matches the Columbia Theater on the Air and the War of the Worlds that he did, because you can tell if you know the history of that show, you can tell he did it on purpose. There's no question. And at the end,
he knew what he was doing.
He made up that end speech on the fly because there were already people bombarding the phones and screaming at him for what he did, because the way that he did it. And if you listen to that broadcast, it still sends chills up the back of my neck when the guy's on the roof of the CBS building and dies from the black smoke. Just amazing stuff. Just classic.
Well,
my favorite. Go ahead, Scott.
His one of Horace's a great story he tells about that is he said, of course he feigned innocence during all these interviews because everybody wanted to sue him. 7 murders Monday.
They did.
Yeah, and he said the only people that got in trouble were the ones that tried to do it later on in other countries. They all got sued and put in jail. Yeah. And he said the best thing to happen to us is we picked up Campbell's Soup as a sponsor.
Awesome. That's the right way to look at it.
But talk about demonstrating to people about the power of the medium.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, there was a thing. Buffalo, New York did their own version 30 years later. The Canadian Air Force was put on alert.
Yes.
Because of it. And then they repeated it like another 5 years later. And both times they had like all of the disclaimers. This isn't happening. They sent out flyers, and still people were losing their minds about it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He created something, a really powerful template. Plus, they've done several TV shows in that vein. Where people thought there was one special bulletin with Ed Flanders in the mid-'80s about supposedly somebody had a nuclear bomb in New York Harbor and it was a terrorist thing, blah, blah, blah. And people were losing their minds thinking that somebody had a nuke in New York and they destroyed New York. So
the Blair Witch Project was not an original idea.
No.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Wow.
I know that there's a great 3-hour cassette tape, and it might be out on DVD now or on whatever, but it's interviews that Peter Bogdanovich conducted with Wells at length, and this interview took place over 20 years' time, different points of time, and Wells tells these incredibly great stories, and one he tells is that they would just fuck around all the time with their radio shows because, they got paid incredibly good money for doing almost nothing.
Yeah.
And he tells the great story of how they always tried to get one announcer who did these commercials for them during Mercury, what was the name of it?
Mercury Theater.
Mercury Theater, yeah.
And it was during the war when Campbell's Soup was trying to sell their chicken soup, but they weren't using chickens because they needed them for the eggs. So they were using roosters instead of chickens. And so they found out about this, and they kept trying to trick this announcer who would do these commercials live to say, as surely as you love chickens, you'll love Campbell's Chicken Soup. Well, they tried to get him to say rooster. As surely as you love chickens, you'll love Campbell's Rooster Soup. And they finally got him to say it on the air. And he said everybody was so happy. And the sponsors are turning purple inside the sound booth, and it was just awesome. They just loved it.
Wow!
So you'll
Crazy
love
time.
Rooster Soup.
Rooster Soup.
That's mind blowing.
Well, when
It
he was
has
doing
been
radio,
awesome.
and then we'll give this back to Randy. When he was doing radio, he was on several shows at the same time. Orson Welles was, and to get from one studio to another,
Yes.
he found out that you could rent an ambulance for your own use. So he rented an ambulance to go from one studio to the other and sound the sirens and everything. 'cause
That's
he figured
great.
He was making enough money. If they pulled him over, he'd pay the fines.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
He found you didn't need to be sick to ride in an ambulance.
Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Hey everybody, I want to thank you all
gas
for
money now.
Yeah, there you go. I want to thank you all for listening to the ZimmCast today. We hope you've had a good time. We've had a good time. So hope that goes through. Want to thank everybody for showing up this time. Next week, maybe Scott Rosema will be here. Maybe Scott Moore will be here as well, who is a longtime retailer that'll join us in the discussion. And who knows who else will be here as well. Maybe Mitch, maybe C, maybe Christy, maybe Brian. You never know. So
I don't.
We'll be back here next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Monkey time.
Monkey time.
Yeah. Juwan, do you want anybody to contact you? Do you want anybody to know where they can find you?
Yeah, you can actually just type
Would
my
you rather
name
stay
in,
anonymous at least until next week when you're here with a camera?
under the shadow knows. So
Only the
yeah,
shadow. No, you have to say that deeper. Who knows
Yeah.
what evil lurks in the hearts of men?
Oh, Chrissy, I'm glad that's a cat's
you've got-
tail. I was so
You've
worried.
got the there you go. You've got the voice for it, Juwan.
Just glad to see you.
We should do.
yeah, I should find that broadcast for next week too, so I can show you guys. I did the broadcast of the Whistler.
Oh, there you go.
at the
Yeah.
local theater in Biloxi.
Nice.
Neat. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I did some radio dramas with Tom Sumner that I've got here on CD. I should ask his permission to play them here. That'd be a lot of fun to do.
That would be awesome.
Yeah. Joanne, do you want anybody to know where they can find you, or we usually this is our last minute plug as we go out the door?
Or yep, you can look me up, but just pretty much my name, J1 Jordan, on any social media platform, whether it be Facebook or Instagram, and I'll pop right up.
Liar.
There you go. Mitch,
Everybody's
tell
a liar.
folks how they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me at Linktree/Celtic Cross Studios, where you can find my website, my online store, my web comics, everything else.
You can buy the Bogart over there as well, right?
Yes.
Okay. Christy, thanks for sticking around.
And I will be found
Appreciate you.
on Linktree, Horror Tora Studios, or that link that I put up in the chat for pre-orders if you want to do that.
That's Horror Tora Studios, HORATORA Studios.
Studios, yes.
.com.
Yes.
That's
Well,
awesome.
it's not .com. It's just you just do that.
No. Go over there and buy your shit.
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
how can people find you?
Facebook. Scott Rosema, Facebook. That's the best place to find me. And this weekend, 8, 9, and 10, I'm going to be in Lansing at the Capital City Comic Con with all my art prints and my Iron Tree comic book, which, my God, I don't have a copy with me right now. All right. Anyway.
It's right there.
Brian's got one. There we go.
There you go. Check it out. I'll have tons of those with me. So I'll be at Capital City Comic Con in Lansing, Michigan. Stop on by and we'll have some fun.
Cool. Brian, tell folks how they can find you.
Okay, risingtide.pub. You can sign up for my free monthly newsletter, hook up with my Patreon page. We are serializing Volcana 2, my new novel. And I will be this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, I will be at the Valley West Mall in West Des Moines, Iowa, at the Indie Author Book Expo. Please come see us. We'll have brand new books, including the award-winning, not that I'm proud of it, Snow Shorts #2 with Snow Ambition, the award-winning story in there, plus my Bat books, Major Marjorie, and other delights. Please come see us, and thank you for having me as always, Randy.
You're always welcome on, Brian. Anytime that cookie will let you.
Yeah, really.
Ted, tell us how they can find you.
Anywhere Ted Davies Artistry is, teddaviesartistry.com. You can find me on YouTube. You can find us on the podcast tomorrow on Ted Davies Artistry on the YouTube channel. And you'll learn a little bit more about Comics Unlimited, the publication that we have out. So with Glenn B. Fleming. Got a lot going on with the channel. So check us out. Thanks very much, Randy, for having me in. Good seeing
Liar.
everybody.
Being on. Says Ragin says I can thank Orson Welles for a paranoid LSD episode at 16.
Good to know.
Mike Jimmy says not wrong there. Nita says it was bad, yo. Hey everybody, thanks again for being here. I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find me on Facebook under Randy Zimmerman, on Twitter under Randy Zim, though I'm hardly ever there because Twitter's still a cesspool of bitterness and negativity. I have a link tree for Arrow Comics 4.0, which you'll be seeing a lot more stuff from in the upcoming weeks. I'm currently working on a book about my last 6 months worth of experience of dealing with COVID and physical therapy and all of the wonderful things associated with that. Lots to say, just figuring out how to say it. And there's an entire section of dream sequences that I swear actually happened just in my head. So other than that, you can find, if you really want to buy something of mine right now, over on Amazon under War of the Worlds, of all things. War of the Worlds Infestation is available over there from Caliber Press. It's a 5-issue miniseries put together as a graphic novel with artwork by the great German artist Horace. It's a great little pulpy story where the Martians invade Earth again 100 years later and have figured out how to kick their bacterial problem.
Awesome.
So it's a lot of fun. Other than that, we'll see you soon. We'll see you at Arrow Comics. We want to point out all of the great shows available on the Ragin 2 network. As you can see there, this is only some of them. This isn't all of them. Ragin 2. Tomorrow morning will be Nerd Bacon with Luke Stone. He was in the chat today. Sketchy Saturdays with Mike Jimmy. Jimmy was in the chat earlier. Talked to Marv earlier today. As they draw stuff and talk about stuff. And then on Sundays, Sunday Funnies at 9 a.m. that I also host, where we talk a little bit positivity, or we try to at least, about comics and get a little passionate about this art form that we love so much called sequential art. We want to remind everybody to go, when you need to ship something, to use a Gemini mailer. If you go over to Gemini Comic Supply, you want to use a Gemini mailer in order for it to get there safely without too much. And we all know how the post office throws stuff around. This is about the best way I've found to keep your comics secure. You go over to GeminiMailerSupply.com. Buy your Gemini mailers there, and there's all sorts of different sizes and stuff that you can get. On your way out the door, use the coupon code RAGIN2, R-A-G-I-N, and the number 2, and you'll save 5% on your next Gemini comic order.
Awesome.
So go over there and do that. And as we leave today, I want to remind everybody to spend a little time with your local retailer. Go over there and visit them if you can. Go through their back stock. Try to find some of the great stuff that they have that they've been sitting on for way too long. And support your local retailers, support your local comic artists, support your local independent and alternative books. There's all sorts of great stuff over on Indiegogo and Kickstarter right now. And it doesn't matter how politically or where they're connected, as long as it's great comics, folks. Just go over there and buy that stuff. And this is a great time for comics right now, probably the best time. We were going to get into that earlier. I had a couple of pages lined up. We were going to talk about those Comic-Con numbers and how they're figuring the numbers all fishy anymore and all that. That's all, just support comics. And if you've got a great comic that you love, give it out as a Christmas gift or as a birthday gift or whatever to your friends, and try to push a little bit of that positivity around.
Got it.
So we want to leave you with the immortal words of, Mr. Stan Lee, the great Stan Lee. When asked if digital comics would replace comic books, Stan said, "Comics are like boobs. They look great on a computer, but I'd rather hold one in my hand."
Truer words have never been spoken.
Yeah, it's true.
Got to quote the masters whenever you can.
There's tons of deleted.
I love it.
Take care, everybody. See you next time. Sunday morning, Sunday Funnies. Next Wednesday here for the ZimmCast. I might be on dispatches from outside the box on Tuesday. We'll see how that goes. That's Tuesdays at 9 p.m. And we'll see you then.
Awesome.
Take care.
See you guys.
We'll see you soon as he goes fishing for the outro. Oh, I've got a couple of things I probably need to run here. Let's run this this quick little ad here for the a great campaign going on at Indiegogo right now. The projectile reptile. Here we go.
Infamous gunslinger Desmond Gibbons, better known across the Wild West as the Cactus Kid, comes to the sleepy town of Clarkson. Trouble finds him in the unlikeliest of sources, the sheriff. After their conflict, the Cactus Kid finds himself inexplicably wearing the badge of a lawman. Later, while on the trail of a serial killer, he and his deputy run afoul of a powerful druid, and the events that lead to the Cactus Kid's transformation into the hulking, four-armed projectile reptile are even more than the druid bargained for. From the Wild West to current-day Los Angeles, where he meets superheroes Black Eagle and Red Hawk, and forms an uneasy alliance with the stunning but deadly Kitty Hawk. Join the projectile reptile on a journey of gunslinging druidic magic, superheroes, and artifacts. Projectile Reptile from Dojo Kun Comics, only on Indiegogo. Are you ready for the truly Wild West?
I can't think of any straight male that doesn't want to form an uneasy alliance with Kitty. Oh my God. Not a one. We also have this one too for RJ from Critical Blast.
Your favorite podcast, it's Critical Blast.
Okay, take care, everybody. Any last words?
Last words.
Liar.
Read some comics.
Toodles Parmesan.
Make sure you buy alternative and independent comics, especially ours, as Daphne would say. We'll see you next time.
Have you paid your dues, Jack? Yes, sir. The check is in the mail.
And where is it? I just read it.
And who's your favorite Marvel Comics hero? Mine is Superman. Remember the motto? With great power comes great responsibility.
Of course.
Where do they teach you to talk like this? In some Panama City sailor want a hump bar? Or is this getaway day and your last shot at his whiskey? Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy, baby.
Oh, and we have to go out with the classic. Hang on here. Let me find it. Yes, right there.
Do you draw the Flintstones naked? There's a market for that.